You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
it
looking
bad, I
at the
don't know, my
youngest
rap,
and
my blood
fastest
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you was just a fuck up real bad.
Be the villain! And I have no problem at all, because I couldn't care less if you like me or not. I'm here for success, and there's no one more successful than Grayson Waller.
Yeah! Let me talk to you. War game.
Let me talk to you indeed. Welcome, Heal the Ring, folks, to the BX Sports Jedi Network. I am BX Sports Jedi Kevin. With me, I've got Jay. What's up, Jay? How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well, man. What a good time to be a wrestling fan. Well, let's start off with tonight with the numbers. I love to look, well, of course, who doesn't like numbers? Monday Night Raw drew a 2.006 on the share there, 2 million strong after coming off that wonderful, successful Elimination Chamber over the weekend. So Monday Night Raw, no numbers affected there. They were strong going at it. It's good to see that, and all across the board for all the wrestling shows. You know, we saw that even for NXT drew a really good number, 589,000. We know that usually around that time it flirts around anywhere from 500,000 to 8 million viewers. Also, we had MLW with 97,000. Now they're up and coming on Reels, and they're from they. One thing I like about and appreciate that at least MLW is not competing with the same time slot. They come right after the NXT. So if you're a wrestling fan, you get right into MLW Underground right after NXT on Tuesday nights. And then we have the Dynamite rating came in. They got over the million views, 1,029,000. So wow. So you know they're getting excited that they actually been some record numbers, especially for Rampage was really low. And Dynamite. We'll talk about why I think I have a theory why those numbers went up, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. You know, Monday Night Raw, it's on the heels of that wonderful Elimination Chamber. You know, they're starting to get ready to kick the gears into WrestleMania. We're already in WrestleMania season, but looking forward I can't believe there's going to be 5 after today, 5 Monday Night Raws before we get to the big show. And of course, it opens up with Sami Zayn coming down. What's your thoughts of Sami Zayn coming in and Kevin Owens to kick off Raw? That was really cool.
It was a good start of Raw, since we really didn't get much at Elimination Chamber. You know, we kind of did get Kevin Owens telling Sami, "Go ahead, haluva kick Roman," but we didn't get much like a hug or a handshake or anything like that. So good way to start off Raw after the Elimination Chamber was continue what we didn't finish at Elimination Chamber. And I think it's going to go all the way. It's going to continue on SmackDown coming up tomorrow. In the beginning, hopefully we get something with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. But it was a good way to start off Raw in my way.
Right. And when we were talking about that with the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, we didn't get that feel-good nostalgia closing. I know the two Canadians, you know, especially in Montreal, it was more like Kevin Owens just move out of the way, like you said, a little kick. The tribal chief who got his bell rung at the end of that, despite winning, he still got his bell rung at the end of it. But in one interesting part here, we didn't get the nostalgia hug, like you said, in Ottawa. The two Canadian hometown heroes in front of their home crowd. And I love the fact that Sammy tried to apologize, but Kevin Owens made it clear you passed the line that we might not get back we might not be able to cross back at from I told you I was done with you, and boy, if someone says they're done, and you got to respect that. And he says, why don't you call your friend Jay, which was a powerful message. You let's face it, it was only 3 months ago in War Games where we heard the shots around the world, the on the low blow that hit Kevin Owens right in the family jewels. I don't know about you, but if someone's hitting you in the family jewels and 3 months later, I don't think you're gonna be hunky dory breaking bread.
Not at all. What he did with Kevin at Survivor Series War Games it's not gonna fix anything now. Just because he turned on the bloodline and now he's trying to go against them doesn't mean that Kevin Owens is still gonna be your friend. You're just gonna have to gain that trust back. Obviously he told him go get Jay. Obviously we don't know what's going on with Jay at all. Is he with or is he not with the bloodline? We have no clue. We'll find out on SmackDown. The last time we saw Jay, besides the Elimination Chamber, he was alongside with his brother in a tag team title match on SmackDown, and then we kind of saw him backstage talking with Sammy. So there's still some. He's on both at the same time, which I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no clue. So I don't think Kevin Owens is gonna be with Sammy at all in the near future. So we'll just find out.
What's with my point here is WWE's got us all guessing. Now, we saw Elimination Chamber end. We were all waiting to see what happened on Monday Night Raw. We were like, anticipating and must-see TV. Now, with what we saw on Monday Night Raw, when Kevin Owens says, go get Jay, now we're still like, wait a minute, I have to watch now Friday because I want to see what the hell Jay's going to do. Because there was that before that on that Friday edition, the go-home show of SmackDown before Elimination Chamber, where Sammy kind of was placating to Jay, I acknowledge you, and we saw the fist pump from Jay exchanging with Sammy, and he says, "Get out of here," So but cameras catches everything, like the wise man says. They see everything. Not everything that appears, around is what we think. Remember what he said, that those little tidbits. And it's got us invested to want to watch now on a Friday night SmackDown. What's going to go with Sammy? Is Jay, dare I say, had enough? Because we also saw what happened in Elimination Chamber, Roman pushing and mushing and getting into the face. Regardless, family is family, but when you cross the line of someone's face and putting your hands physically on it, regardless of the case, there's a little bit of a line that might be crossed, that there's a little resentment or bitterness, regardless of the fact. Will it spill over to SmackDown? Which I love it, because this is a story that keeps writing itself, because we don't know. Like you said, Jay, everyone saying it's chalk. Kevin Owens and Sammy's going to go against the Usos for the World Tag Team Unification titles, and we don't know. The story could go anywhere. Where Kevin Owens said he's done. Maybe it's a slow build for them at the last minute. Kevin Owens say, if I'm gonna trust you, I'm gonna be your friend. He leaves them a box, and in the box, as Sami Zayn has a mask of Hinetico that says, "I'll tag with him." And we might see Hinetico come back in WrestleMania. My God, you know how much the pop that will get? Generico and that's a storyline. That's a fantasy booking.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying those types of deals, with that. You could have so many, or you could even have Jay and Sammy going up for the titles, and we could have a fabulous Freebird situation where the Freebirds, they had 3 men, and they would Gordy, Michael Pierce Hayes, and I forget the other gentleman. They would switch. Who like the New Day? Who was the tag team? It was always not the same 2 tag teams that would defend the titles. It was either any of the 2 out of the 3 men in that faction. Could it be where it could be Solo Sikoa and Jimmy and Jey Uso taking on Jimmy and Sammy at WrestleMania for the tag titles? You don't know. That's what's going to keep us invested remember, they got to keep us hook, line, and sinker for the next 5 weeks. And with this storyline writing itself, and now it's bigger, it has tentacles, because it goes into the tag team realm. It also going into now with Cody Rhodes. Even where's Kevin Owens in all this picture? So we have a lot of questions that week to week. Hopefully we get some answers, or it leads us somewhere to the storyline. I like it, Jake.
Same with me. I love the storyline. This storyline can go any which way. There's millions upon millions of chances it can go any way. We can still get Jay and Jimmy together in the bloodline, and then you have Solo Sikoa turn. There's always that possibility. There's always that possibility of maybe the Wise Man alongside with Cody, because he had some interesting words on the Raw that I went to. In Orlando, he has some interesting words for Cody, saying that you're gonna beat Roman, and stuff like that. So they could go either which way. You never know. We'll just have to wait and see. We have 5 weeks till WrestleMania, and that's 5 weeks of build up for something that could happen at WrestleMania, possibly with the Tribal Chief, with the tag titles, with the undisputed titles. Anything can happen. So I'm waiting for C.
Absolutely. And then we saw, as soon as that promo was over, great promo to start it off. Good job there to get the crowd in Ottawa going. And we get Baron Corbin just comes out and just beats the crap out of you. You stole my time. You had the nerves to interrupt me to come on when I was getting interviewed, and they had a match there. Corbin, now I know everyone says Corbin's jobbing, he's becoming a jobber, but there's a reason for Corbin. There's functions for a guy like Corbin in the main roster here. First of all, he looks like an obstacle. He's big, he's strong, and then that match, hell of a match there. What I thought, and then I love when Corbin says, "I was the last man to beat Roman Reigns to have a pin on him." That's a powerful message. He's telling us, I'm not just a jobber. Remember, I'm the last guy who pinned this man hasn't been pinned for over 900 plus days. I'm the last one. So I love that match there. I like the fact that Sammy got the victory. We'll go a little bit quick rapid fire with Raw, but right after that promo, it made sense for Corbin to attack. I like the way they set it up. What was your thoughts on that little tidbit?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, Sammy's going to get a match. Finally, he's going to get a win in Canada, because, we had that upset at Elimination Chamber when he didn't win. So finally he got the win. He beat Corbin, obviously. That was expected. But I kind of like where Corbin's going with this. I kind of like how he's still playing that heel while breaking up with JBL. At first, with the JBL thing, I didn't like it. It was kind of like it could be better. Obviously at that time they could have possibly brought in Cameron Grimes and made the storyline a little bit more interesting. But obviously a lot of people are complaining on social media, which then brought Triple H to mind. Maybe this isn't working, and then he switched it up. So now we're kind of getting Corbin. I don't know if he's rewinding back to his old self, or maybe he's trying something new. Hopefully he's trying something new, because I don't want bum ass Corbin back. I don't want the lone wolf Corbin back. I want something new, something brand new. So hopefully that something happens in the next 5 weeks leading up to WrestleMania.
Interesting there, because you could still have JBL back in the storyline. Like you said, now he'll manage Corbin. I'm gonna show you what I meant this is what I had in mind for your wrestling god, and then bring in a Corbin. You bring in Cameron Grimes with JBL, and then go to the moon. Even with the music, to the moon. Women with it works, because that kind of rich cowboy, that he was with his was crypto compared to JBL, who made it on Wall Street. There's a little parallel where you could team them up, and then you could debut him in WrestleMania against Corbin. You have JBL come back. I got a challenge for you. I got someone that I found a real wrestler, a real shiny gold mine, not a polished turd. You could do many things with that. As we say hello to MDM Studios. What's going on? And yes, so we will move on here to we'll talk about a little bit promo. I'm just gonna go over it real quick. You had Byron Saxton sit down with Rhea Ripley and Dominic. What happened in the chamber? I love the fact that Dominic looked like a freaking he keeps getting that heat, that schmuck heat. I love it. And Dominic, keep doing your job. I really am enjoying this. I know everyone says maybe he should have went to NXT to maybe for the wrestling skills, but no, he is killing it. He's getting the right heat. He's getting everyone invested, everyone disliking him, and that's what you want in the heel. I love that promo. I give that promo a thumbs up. We have Mustafa Ali taking off Dolph Ziggler in a match. It was short, sweet, and right to the point. Now Ziggler, let me ask you this: what you thought about Ziggler taking on Mustafa Ali? I actually am happy that Mustafa Ali got a victory. I think he needed it more than Ziggler.
100%. Good thing for Mustafa. The younger talent goes over in this situation, so that's great for the younger talent to win. Obviously, Ziggler is a veteran. He's been in the business for a long time. The first ever time he was in the business, he was in a cheer squad. So it was great to see Ziggler putting over young talent like Mustafa Ali. What's next for Ziggler? I have no clue. I would have liked, I know this is kind of like repeating the same thing over and over again. I would like to see him in like a maybe world, like a main event picture for like a pay-per-view that not as big as WrestleMania, like Backlash or possibly Money in the Bank, be in that Money in the Bank ladder match, possibly do something. But I'd like to see Mustafa Ali, go over in this match, and it's great for him to have a short and sweet match, not hurting Ziggler's reputation of being who he is in the past. So that's good for him.
I love the fact when Ziggler went for his famouser, and I love the move that Mustafa Ali did to counter it, to block it and get the pin on that. That was phenomenal. Those kind of moves, those kind of counters is what's going to get him more over, and I loved it. Mustafa Ali is a tremendous talent. It's just right now the whole mid card is stacked. There is the mid card situation where the Gunther, with the Austin Theory, it's stacked, and it's a tough time for him to try to make his bones. But if he keeps doing those kind of counter maneuvers and bringing us with those moments, it was a short, sweet match, but I'm telling you about that counter he had. It stuck. That's what stuck, that memory, that moment. Those moments in wrestling is what's going to get you over. You don't have to do always the 450 hammer spinning splash, but if you know when to pick the spot and have that moment where you as a consumer or viewer is going to give you that, remember, that's what's going to get you over. And I think Mustafa Ali against Dolph Ziggler gave you that moment. Like, oh, wait a minute, he got over. Could they tease them as a tag team? I know WWE needs more tag teams. That would be nice, because you know what, kid? You know what? You earn my respect. I would be honored to team with you. Maybe that they go that route, because right now, like we just finished saying, there's not enough room in the mid card titles, for him to really get over. Right now, there's other guys in that pecking order, and it's going to be tough there. So you want to get him in that tag team program. So we'll see. Hopefully, good luck for Mustafa. Hopefully, we get that going forward. We said another match here in the women's match. We have Asuka taking on Nikki Cross, two of the ladies that participated in the Elimination Chamber before the match, right before the bell rings, in a weird fashion. When the bell rings and they're about to lock up, Bianca Belair music comes out. I found that a little weird. Timing off was, kind of a little off. It wasn't kosher, but the match between Nikki and Asuka makes another match sweet, more short and sweet. Nikki Cross, we know that she's there. I like the new change, the new gimmick, but I like what happened with that exchange between Asuka and Bianca. Asuka's teasing maybe a flip of a little heel. The Canna, I like to call Asuka Canna. Canna with the blue mist, it means go to sleep. And she's telling us that she's going to make Bianca Belair go to sleep at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I like the direction they're going with Asuka being kind of heelish what she was back in Japan. I kind of like where they're going with this. And Nikki, I kind of see what's going to happen here. I kind of see maybe a mixed tag match at WrestleMania alongside with a returning Eric Young, possibly in the next few weeks. Hopefully we get him. I know they're slowly but surely building up to Sanity's return. I know that's going to happen. Hopefully we get that soon, because we know in Impact, if you guys watch Impact, which I barely watch Impact, but I see the highlights, I see the moments. Eric Young, the last time we saw him, he kind of got taken out of TV. So hopefully that's, the last time we saw somebody taken off of TV with Impact that came back that is related to WWE, Chelsea Green. Now she's back in WWE. So hopefully they bring back Sanity and Eric Young to have a match at WrestleMania with Nikki. But I like where they're going with Asuka and the Bianca Belair. I'm starting to like it even more than I originally thought I was going to like it.
Yes, we'll see more of Oh, we could just go with Nikki Cross. We saw her backstage later on in the program. But I know it's a little bit off the timeline, guys, but just we're trying to put cram in NXT as well as AEW, so we're going to go a little rapid fire just to give you a little forewarning there. We saw Nikki Cross backstage before crossing by with Candice LeRae being interviewed. Talking about Johnny, how's he feeling? But then she stops Nikki and asks her why does she follow her? Why she's always stalking her? And she says she had no one. She has no one. She's alone. So that's an interesting. Could there also be teasing a Nikki Cross Candice LeRae tag team? That could take, because remember they right now Candice LeRae is another one along. That's lost. We don't know. We don't have any direction her going because the women's program. I know WrestleMania is a reset. You reset and new storylines. It's like the new season. But before you get to the new season, we need something for Candice LeRae. You brought her back. You brought her back to the fold, to the company. You got to give her something. You got to make her feel special here. I know sometimes she doesn't get over with the crowd, and the crowd when she comes out doesn't get that huge pop. But if you put her in a tag team with a Nikki, and maybe you start building. You got 5 weeks. Maybe you build 8 different women together, and then you make like a fatal 4-way tag team. For Monday night, whatever, to go up against the women's tag team champions on a Raw or another pay-per-view, whatever. You could start setting up a storyline with that. And for WrestleMania, I wonder if they will do that. I don't know if they will. This is just me, fantasy booking, but we'll see. Maybe Candice LeRae and Nikki Cross will be a tag team. We all know we would love to see is Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, but I don't see they're bringing her up yet. Indy, I don't know why, but that's another story for another day. When we get to the NXT portion here, we'll touch that back again. We haven't backstage. We saw Miz and Maurice. Maurice came all the way to Canada with an envelope. A big envelope there, teasing something. Any guess? I have no idea what the hell that was. Jay, what would you think was in that envelope?
I don't know. Well, I was at Varus's house, and I kind of looked at him when she gave it, and I was like, "Is she pregnant again? Is that like kind of like a pregnancy test? Maybe. You never know. Things could happen. The third child, you never know. But it might have been maybe like a picture of him making that half-court shot at in the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, maybe. But he said it was better than that. So what could be better than that? A child, pregnancy, maybe. You never know. We'll probably see another time because they did mention that it was not allowed inside of Canada. So that kind of crosses out that little thing that I just said. Maybe it could be a big gift, a car, or something. You never know.
Or maybe his season got renewed. That's why it could have been. They don't show it in Canada, so they renewed their season and Mrs. and Mrs. Maybe, who knows? That's what it is. We got to extend another season. Who knows? With that, we'll see next week on the match. They had a good match there. I know, he was the reason why Logan was in the WWE. That's his protege taking credit. Oh boy, Rollins gave him an ass whipping for that. You brought him in here. You took out his frustration on him. All in all, it was got to the point. Rollins with the match there. He gets the victory, of course. I loved it to see that go in there. Then backstage, we'll go real quick. You also saw backstage Gable and Bronson Reed with Otis. Let me ask you this: they're teasing Otis and Bronson Reed, those two big behemoths. Let me ask you. I know some people say, I want to see that on a regular Monday night. I want to see that on WrestleMania. I don't want to see that on a Monday night, bro.
I don't know. They're kind of going in a different direction where they're splitting up Alpha Academy. It's making it seem like Alpha Academy, which I love Alpha Academy. No matter how much they're heel or anything, people don't like them. I like them. I think they're amazing. Their catchphrase, the thank you and a shoosh. I like it. I enjoy it. But it's looking like more like Maximum Male Models is getting Otis, and they're kind of splitting Alpha Academy. So I don't know if we're gonna get Bronson Reed versus Otis at WrestleMania. That would be it would be a decent match. I wouldn't say it would be a great match, but it could set up something different where we have Chad Gable versus Otis at WrestleMania. We could get former tag teams going at it. I don't know. I have no clue where they're going with the direction. And all I know is they're splitting them up. That's all I know.
When you say that splitting up there, I kind of see it as well because they're trying to make Chad Gable. Because although Chad Gable could do that comedy role with Otis, they that's a good comedy wrestling role. But after a while, you need to get some significant pins, some victories, and I believe Alpha Academy rarely has some significant real pins. We always associated them taking the pinfall, putting someone over, but still going over with the crowd without winning, and that gets old after a while. So maybe this is where they're gonna give us a serious Gable, feeling hurt that his friend Otis, now he's Otis, and Otis now is with Maximum Male Model, and they didn't pick him, because you saw Gable, combing his eyebrows. He was combing his eyebrows and trying to look all cute. And it's Otis that Maxine Dupree wanted during the match, caused Chad Gable to get distracted, and Brunson Reed with that finisher off the top ropes. Brunson Reed, I'm a huge fan. I'm sorry. Brunson Reed, to me, I was like, who is this guy? No, I didn't see him. I didn't appreciate and saw him in NXT, and I didn't go see any of his matches in New Japan either. I'm just watching his WWE run. Short is really short though, but what I'm seeing in a short time, I am impressed. I have been won over by a Brunson Reed. All the mannerisms, the way he look at the camera, the way he has that menacing, that snark, and the way he looks, I really am enjoying what a Brunson Reed. He's agile in that ring.
Yeah, even though I haven't seen much of Bronson Reed, because I know he was in NXT, he was an NXT North American champion of what I've heard. I haven't seen much of him. Now, the time being seeing him on the main roster, he is going to be a big star in this company. He is going to make it in this company. He's not going to be lost like some of the people who already came up, who I'm not going to name. But you know who I'm talking about. Some people that have been lost, or who are going to be lost if they come up right now. But Bronson Reed is not lost whatsoever. He is going at it. He is doing the work, and he I can see him being a world champion in the next 10 years, 100%. If he stays with the company, the next 10 years, Bronson Reed will be your world heavyweight champion for a fact. And I like to see a Bronson Reed, a big man like that, be a world champion.
He's got that. He checks the box of a heel, and the heat that he'll get from the crowd. He checks those boxes, and not even 10 years. You could probably see by a rotation by a couple months. He could be in one of the mid-card title pictures where he, if it's a face that goes over with one of the titles, he'll be the next one to take that title away and be in a menacing situation there. So I know we're gonna leave the big promo for last. I know it's not chronological order. I know that before people say you didn't go to the right, you've missed something. No, I'm gonna go right to the main event, but then we'll talk about the big promo because that's I'm headlining the main event of WrestleMania. But let's go with the main event on the wrestling card, which was Austin Theory take on Edge for the United States title. Now, me personally, I wasn't. Maybe because it was that hour of the night, and because I have to get up in the morning, and maybe I was a little tired. I'm gonna say maybe out of me, but personally, it's on paper, it's a really good match to see the Rated R Superstar taking on the up and coming Austin Theory. But when the match happened, I wasn't really like, really, could we have got something different for main event? It's the mid card. I know we're trying to make the mid card into a main event there, but the match was a good match, but it just didn't excite me because I already knew that Theory wasn't going to drop that title to Edge, and it was just a filler. Maybe that also, and the time of the hour, it was a component of different things. All in all, Edge is a hell of a wrestler. We're not going to see. He says, like, I love what he said early in the promo. I don't know how much more of these matches I'm going to have left, opportunities to try to win gold. So I appreciate that because what Edge has given us for his career in the WWE has been A+. But it just didn't. I'm going to be totally honest. It just didn't make it for me, Jay.
It made it for me. The reason why I say this is because it's not about Edge and Austin Theory. I know they're the main event. I know they're in a match. It sets up Edge and Finn Balor at WrestleMania. And then we have Austin Theory, who is supposedly rumored to face John Cena at WrestleMania, look like an even bigger heel. So when Cena comes on Monday, he has something in store. He says on social media, so he has something in store for Cena. So it makes it even bigger match, so that he beats 2 Hall of Famers, or 1 Hall of Famer and 1 future Hall of Famer, 2 legends in the making in 1 year. So I see why they do that. I see why, and obviously you have to have Edge in his hometown. I get it. It makes a lot of sense. But it was mainly to set up both for the Austin Theory and John Cena feud and the Finn Balor and Edge feud.
Yes, because we
Unlike
saw Finn
the
Balor.
championship. Yeah.
Yeah, because we saw Finn Balor come out and coup de grace
Mm-hmm.
beat, and we thought that the story was over between these two guys. Now we know it's going to probably be a gimmick match between them. I know we would like to see end this story. We would not like to see Edge move on, especially like he said, doesn't have that much time left that he's going to be before he retires. We want to see him with all the dream matches, all the different scenarios against certain wrestlers that are currently on the roster, XYZ. I'm going to get back to Edge and Finn in a moment. I'm gonna go right now with like you said. The reason, Matt, it didn't hit me, Jay, because I thought of Randy Orton when Randy Orton was the Legend Killer when he stomped. I seen the picture before. I thought it was a little bit of a recycled gimmick because I knew he Austin Theory said Cena's coming back and you guys are making a big deal, and I'm like, oh, he's already getting on the Cena wagon. We all want to see Cena versus Theory. We do all want to see it, absolutely. But we kind of, that's why I said it was kind of predetermined. It kind of let the air out of the balloon, and that's why it wasn't so fully exciting with that. Now, when it comes back to Balor, really back to Edge and Balor, one guy who looks so phenomenal in the Elimination Chamber is Damian Priest. What is he going to do? What do you have him do in WrestleMania then? Because obviously Dominic has already a program with his father. You already know Rhea's going for the titles. This is to me. If I'm fantasy booking, this is me. You're seeing, and there's 2 ways of going about this. There's 2 ways, or 3 different scenarios. The first one, they'll have a gimmick match, 1-on-1, Hell in a Cell, whatever, a gimmick match. Last man. They already had the I Quit match, or loser leaves town, whatever match. Or now next week, they still keep beating up Edge, and now Priest is involved. Edge is going to bring a partner of his own choosing, a mysterious partner to help him out, because to even the balance, the score. Mystery partner in WrestleMania. It could be anyone. It could be one, Jay White, who's been, and that's the way you introduce Jay White to the WWE world against, then you could leave if you want, and then you could actually have Edge do another program, and you could even have Jay White going up against Finn 1-on-1 after WrestleMania. And then you have Priest in the program. Or we'll all keep an eye on March 5th, because I'm thinking that the match between Jungle Boy and Christian is going to be a stipulation match. I don't know how long his contract is. I don't believe Christian signed a long-term deal, because all those contracts are hush quiet. If it's a career-ending match, I wouldn't be surprised seeing Christian return to the WWE to just team up one more WrestleMania with Edge, and then you have Christian and Edge taking on the Judgment Day. It all depends on the contract with Christian. I don't know. I'm just talking out of the side of my mouth. I don't have any facts. This is just me saying, if there is a stipulation in that match in Revolution where there's a career-ending situation, then we know Christian is coming to. It'll be there WrestleMania.
I can see that happening. I can see the Jay White thing happening. But what I think might happen is Damian Priest will be the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He could do that. He can win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We'll still get Edge versus Finn. Demon Finn versus Brood Edge in a Hell in a Cell match. Then we got Rhea taking on Charlotte, and we have Dominic taking on Ray in a match that's a stipulation match as well. If Ray loses, he is forced to retire, and that's how you end up taking Rey Mysterio out of the company, letting Dominic take the torch and continue on his legacy. So that I could see that happening. I could see it any way which happening, but that was my fantasy booking right there. You have that happen.
I like that. I like that thought with the Ray leaving. With that, I don't think the Andre the Giant Memorial, they didn't say they were going to do that. Let me throw this there. I know you mentioned when you said Brood
Edge.
Through Edge. Yeah, any chance, since he's working as a producer, you get Gangrel one match to team up with Edge. If you can't get Christian to go up against Finn and Damien. That's
Hey,
another way to go.
anything is possible. They can have a tag team, a singles match. It could be
It's
anything.
Hollywood. It's Hollywood. It's out there.
Hey.
One was the most
Yeah.
epic. If you remember, if you Google or watch it, because I know you're a little younger, but when the Brood used to come out, that was Hollywood entrance. It was back then with Blade, with the bloodbath, all that, or a lot of cinematic entrance. You do that now with the technology now in a WrestleMania. It might work for one night. It's just a one night thing. It might work. We know, but anyway it could go. This is the thing about WWE. It's unpredictable. It keeps us wanting to
Unpredictable.
look at more.
Pro wrestling in general is
unpredictable.
unpredictable. Not just WWE.
yes,
Pro
yes.
wrestling in general, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. So that will conclude Monday Night Raw. We'll get into NXT. NXT. I know you were there live in person. I didn't go. I was extremely exhausted. The NXT program 2.0 for February 20 for the 21st of February. We had you know what? When I watched this, I'm going to say it kicked off with the main event. I'm sorry. The best match of the night was the very first match. It was Ilya Dragunov taking on Trick Williams in a match. You know that Ilya Dragunov is a hell of a wrestler. I know some people don't like him promo wise or says he's kind of boring. I don't see where Dragunov is boring. I don't know where the hell, other podcasters, and that's your respect. I respect you guys, but I don't know why you say Dragunov doesn't have it. He is perfect. He is good. He gets the crowd invested. He's a hell of a wrestler, and you maybe you're not watching it correctly. Maybe you should put down the Malibu and watch the match. That's just me saying. Personal, again, I love this match. This match was really good. Was hard hitting. Dragunov, Trick Williams had his cheering section. Salute to Jay, Movie Mania, and Cleveland, and they did a hell of a job. They became a meme in Twitter, and they even started a little Twitter beef there. I saw. So John, look at that. Tricking ain't easy, but.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good way to start off NXT. I wish it was the main event as well. The main event did not hit as hard as this match did. Wow. But I see the reason why they started it off on NXT. They wanted Braun Breaker obviously to be the main event. He's the world champion. Obviously, you're not gonna have Braun Breaker start off NXT in a championship match. I don't think that's gonna happen. Especially on a random Tuesday. But this match, oh my god, I was invested in it as much as I know a lot of people there. I know John started the chant, the choir, and I know Brandy offered to get them robes for NXT. Obviously, we didn't get that, but it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I wish Trick went over. I wish Trick won. But obviously, I know the reason why Ilya went over. Obviously, because it's Ilya Dragunov. It's if you're gonna have Trick Williams beat Ilya Dragunov, then it's like saying Trick Williams can beat Braun Breaker in a match, especially in a triple threat match. So hey, but obviously, this match was intense, hard hitting. The crowd was invested. I couldn't ask for a better match in NXT history, in my opinion.
And you also had, you had JD McDonough come down, made his way there. He's had that bad retina on his eye, and he sat down in commentary, teasing that those two guys are going to go at it hard and heavy once JD McDonough is healthy. Maybe that's a stand and deliver match. I can't wait to see that.
Another thing, I know you were watching at home. Did you catch what JD was saying on commentary? Because it was kind of hard to hear with everybody chanting.
It wasn't much. He didn't say much there. Just about he's can't wait to have that match. He really got him hurt. He just wants to get his hands on and get him and get his just regular heel. And the thing is, Dragunov is the face here where he really doesn't play. And let me ask you this before I even say that: did they change his music? His music did not sound the same for Dragunov.
They changed
his music, right?
They
And it
changed
sucked.
everybody that came back from UK. They changed their music. Besides Gallus, Gallus was the only person that didn't change
They
music, and I think Tyler
sucked.
too.
I'm
I
sorry.
think Tyler's music changed
Dragon
too.
off,
Oh yeah.
theme song
Nope.
sucked.
But
Change it,
it
please.
was
Give us
normal
back,
last
'cause
time. It was normal last week, and then this new week they
I did
decided
not
to
like
change
this
it.
new version of
No,
title. No, I didn't
no.
feel it. I thought it stink. I thought it wasn't good. I was like so disappointed.
And then he's
there.
doing this. It doesn't
Yeah,
it doesn't
it doesn't
go
go
with
with
the song.
Yeah,
No.
But again, I wanted to give a little spot there where Williams went for a spinning kick, but to support him, planted him for a power bomb, a near kicked out with the forearm to the floor. He had a great match there for Trick Williams, Dragunov getting him with that finishing move. Trick, he is getting more and more closer to the main roster with Carmelo Hayes.
Oh yeah.
Trick already has the look. Trick Williams has the look. He's over 6'4". Former athlete, I believe South Carolina wide receiver, if I'm not mistaken. He's athletic, put it that way. He has the look. He's height. He's tall. He could speak on the microphone. He's hilarious. Not just with his comedic program on YouTube, Tricking and Easy, and of course, new episode dropped already. Please check it out. 99, he can speak on the microphone. He has the mannerisms of a heel. Also, when he needs to be engaging with the kids, he's also really good. I seen him in the house show, have a thumb wrestling match with a young kid and plake it up like he's gonna beat him up, and he did everything perfect. So I really enjoyed what I saw from Trick Williams. I love it, and I'm thumbs up, Trick Williams. You're getting better and better each and every week as we move on, as we're getting closer to the man that carried the whole program. But before that, we saw a promo backstage. Fallon Henley and Kiana James apologizing to her in person. Let me ask you this. I got into not a little bit of Twitter issue back and forth, but I wrote something in Twitter. I said, this Fallon and Kiana James, I like that the tag team. I like the storyline. I get it. But I felt like I peeked behind the curtain too much. And I saw, because I hate to say it, and I don't want to sound like a downer, but Kiana James is married in real life. She put in her Instagram, where everyone that already follows, she's got wedding photos with her husband. It's not Jensen. That's the thing that kills me here. You're trying to do a romance. We all know she's never gonna kiss the guy, and then one guy says, "Well, you watch Netflix. You watch Netflix, and you told me you don't want to watch that. You don't want to watch that because of the movies. Those people are married. This is sports entertainment.
Oh my god.
This is wrestling. They're athletes. Yes. Oh, but the script, but it's predetermined. The script. It might be predetermined in script, but they're still athletes. They're telling a story with their athleticism. Yes, they add a little bit of a storyline to it, but when the storyline kind of bleeds a little bit in, this is when and you want a little realism in your role wrestling, and at least some story. And she's married. It's like, and that's why I didn't really wasn't invested. And I'm gonna go back to even further because it's just maybe me. It's just maybe me. Whatever the case is, when Lana was with Bobby Lashley. I mean, she's married to Rusev, and she's out there making out with Lashley there. She's a married man with kids. I'm like, what that? I know they're not actors, Jay. Last team I saw, they were wrestlers. They're preferred sports entertainers. They're athletes. And that line, I'm like, what are we doing here? We're crossing a line. That's like, that's why in the storyline, I like the story, the wrestling story, but I can't. That's why I can't get really into it because I know exactly the predetermination, what's happening outside, what happens outside of their marriage. She's married. It's like, what do you? I don't know. It's just me. Maybe I'm the old man. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn. You whippersnapper. But I don't know, Jay. I don't know.
Hey, listen. I like the wrestling story. I like where they're going with this. I like how it's the way it's heading. You called it. You said it was her brother, and look what happened. It's her brother. So I mean, I like the way the storyline is going. It's just the romance. We all know that Kiana's married. It's like you said, it's on Instagram, which I laughed at that because now people are gonna look on their Instagram and see like, oh wait, that's not Jensen. What's going on here? So I don't know. I just don't. Nowadays, I know in the past I loved like the romance stories because it was different in the past. Nowadays, it's like, why can't we just
They put all
grow
their
up on this? Why
business.
can't we just do this away? Like,
Yeah.
why do we have to do this romance stuff? Like, I don't get it. It just doesn't hit me where I used to when I was a kid. It just doesn't do it anymore.
Not only that, back then there was not that social media where the performers allow you to see them be behind the curtain. You know, you
Hmm.
kind of knew a little bit with Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth back in the day, married couple, not married couple. There was rumors and stuff like that, but you didn't see. You know, now that these performers and rightfully so, they have the right to put their their personal life on a social media platform. You know, we know that, we see it there. You know, we see it from Lola Vice. You know, she puts the twerking videos there. You know, if you look at her social media account, she's twerking videos everywhere. You know, dancing to music. And now when you go into a wrestling role, that history's still there. You can't erase that. So I understand that, and again, I could get involved with I understand that storyline there, but that just to me is just like, all right, the performers, they'll say okay because they want to keep their job. They don't want to get over. I want to be put up. I want to
Oh
be
yeah.
put in this company, get a push. But you don't know what the spouse on the other side, you know, we all see, and I hate to put this like this. We all see that Wesley, and I hate to use this as an example, but I'm going to have to. Wesley, his lovely wife comes all the time to NXT. Very nice lady. Has sat in front of us. Very nice, very smiling and all. What if they put her Wesley in a romance with Tiffany Stratton or you know, or someone who wants to get over, maybe a you know a Lash Legend was also married. How is she gonna feel sitting in the NXT universe with us there, and they're doing that bromance? You know, maybe she's gonna play the role right, but back at home, those insecurities. You know, I don't. I personally, and Shawn Michaels, you know, he should know this. I know he it's just that's the only thing that I have a little bit of a, and maybe they won't teasing it that there's a bromance and we're not gonna see a kiss. They're gonna tease it where the payoff is that she's gonna be traded, and that's gonna happen. But just the thought, you know, of that there, you don't know what the other spouse is thinking. You know, they're not at home. They don't have to live with the other spouse, and you know, and that's something I wish they would not do that. I know that's a job and they want to get fed, but that's why I have a little bit of criticism when it comes to that kind of angle. But we'll move on because we just spent a little too much time. People goes, well, you know, you're getting to evolve in these wrestlers' life. Yeah, you're probably right, maybe so, but to each his own. It's still a compelling story. I just had to just get that off my chest there. All right, so we'll go now to Tyler Bates cutting a promo in the ring, and promo. We all love Tyler Bates. The Dyads surround him like a bunch of sharks, ready to beat up on him. And out comes Chase U.
Hey, I was booing them. I finally started booing them because I like Schism more. And Joe Gacy during the match, he kind of like he pointed towards me, Brandy, and Varus. So I was like, ooh.
So he was looking in his denim. He was in his denim.
Oh yeah.
It was fine. It was 501 jeans there.
He's not wearing he's not wearing overalls. Oh god.
but we saw Schism and taking on Chase U. Chase U comes out. Of course, Chase U's section they really enjoy. I understand Chase U does make sense in WWE in the NXT universe. Yeah. I understand that. I get it. And one thing I do want to give props and a lot of credit. Andre Chase stepped up his wrestling game this match. That moonsault off the rope on the top from the second, I was like, whoa, he actually did that? Whoa, it's not just the reversal into a side leg sweep, and then he's gonna stomp on you, and then he's gonna give you a C, and you know, very predictable.
Still did it.
No, I love the moonsault. He still did it, of course. I know he still did it. I go, oh, here we go.
It was interrupted. Thank God.
Just when I'm giving you credit, you go back to that stupid Russian leg sweep with the kick. Oh my god! But
at least it was interrupted.
Yeah, but you know what? They did look good though. Chase U looked good, and I got to give him credit. Andre Chase has become a much better wrestler, and in the ring. But we saw Ava. Whatever Ava did to Dia, that's got her spooked. My goodness.
Oh
She
my
is
god.
spooked out of her mind because she's scared of her like nothing. And when we see that distraction there, where Duke Hudson gets the living crap out of him, I mean, he to the one he takes the pinfall. They're teasing that Duke Hudson is getting already tired of Andre Chase. We all knew that. I'm surprised they lasted this long, Jay.
Oh no,
Or has
because
lasted this long.
when I first came into NXT, Duke Hudson was still on that heelish kind of gimmick still, and I'm surprised that he lasted this long as a babyface. It, especially with people like Chase University, with Thea with that energy, and then you have Andre Chase there doing the same moves over and over and over and over again, which I get bored every time he does it. But that's besides the point. Whatever. It's like that's like I'm Thea. Like, just say this is a scenario. I'm Thea watching as a kid, watching The Undertaker. That's like that kind of like gave me that kind of vibe. Like, oh, there's something like that's scary. That's scaring the crap out of Thea, which is Ava Rain. Whatever she did when she kidnapped her, when she took her away, whatever they did to her, where she came back with a bunch of buttons on her shirt, it spooked the crap out of her. So now we'll hopefully we get a Thea turn. I'm hoping. I'm just hoping.
Ooh, I was gonna ask you
I'm
that. Any
hoping.
chance of Thea going to the dark side, heel?
Oh yeah.
Okay, interesting. Let's see where that payoff leads for that there between these two ladies. We did. I don't know if how it came off in the performance center, but we had a backstage promo where Mika Saramoto training a bunch of women, back and forth, with Roxanne Perez joining the class, and she survived a lot of the tough women. One thing about it, I'll tell you one thing, there was a lot of, it's a shame because those ladies couldn't keep up with Roxanne Perez, and I'm like, yeah, right. How the hell you guys got those beach bodies when you can't even keep up with Mika Saramoto? Come on, get out of here. Come on.
Another
You
thing
put
is
Piper
when
Nevin in there, and then I would understand. Okay, Piper Nevin tapped out. I get it.
yeah, no,
okay. But
when they said 1,000, I was like, ain't no way. Nah, stop lying. There's no way they did 1,000 push-ups or whatever they did. Nah.
she goes, hey, Jonathan, salute, and we got Jay out in the building, and so we got K Crew in the building. We got Muhammad, our former partner here on the Heel of the Ring, and just wanted to acknowledge the chat real quick. And then we get that where Mika says we're just warming up, and I love the fact they're warming up. Let me ask you this: I know Mika has a lot of honor, and with that style, any chance that she's softening up Roxanne Perez, making her go through these grueling challenges, making her sore and opportunistic, take that title on Roadblock? I mean, and she don't really have to be a heel but she's using her wisdom to soften up an inexperienced Roxanne Perez.
That could definitely be the case. Yeah, that could definitely be the case, or it's her trying to warn Roxanne, hey, this is the length and the challenge you're going to have to go through and able to beat me. That is what you're going to have to do.
That too.
It could be that. It could be what I just said. It could be anything. There's always that chance it is her softening Roxanne up to then beat her at Roadblock. But is it realistically, you have Roxanne on the cover of Stand and Deliver on the poster. You really think? I get it, Miko. She's the final boss. I get it, and that was my first time ever seeing her in person. But
wow,
I don't know. I'm not getting vibes that she's gonna win. I think Roxanne's gonna retain. As much as it hurts me to say that Roxanne's gonna retain, because I don't like Roxanne at all, she's gonna retain, obviously.
Also, or by her going through all those challenges, with all the getting prepared and working her rear end off, and maybe possibly getting a victory on Miko Saramoto, and says, you know what, I worked my butt off. I went through your challenge and you beat me to sign of respect, and maybe that validates her title, because a lot of folks, including what felt like Roxanne was handed that title. I know because of the Mandy Rose situation. I said Mandy Rose situation where she had to get, let go. And they pushed it to give her the title where really, maybe she didn't really deserve it. I'm just taking the naysayers outside of the Performance Center, what they say. But no, I think Roxanne Perez, I like Roxanne Perez. going forward. But right now, I thought it was a little too soon for the title for her. I didn't want to see her with the World Women's title yet. But when I popped for her when she was at the Rumble and when she goes to the main roster, when she came on SmackDown, I really enjoyed seeing her there. I think she belonged, but I personally don't like her as the women's champion now here in NXT for just my reasons there, just personally. But it'll be interesting to see what direction. Again, we're going to be invested because we don't know what that is. Is it Sarah Mona going to be heel? Is she softening her up? Is she trying to help her take her wrestling ability to another level? There's questions, and we don't know what it is, and we're going to look forward to which one it is. And either way, it's either one of those ways they go isn't a bad one. Personally, Jay, I wouldn't mind any one of the directions they went to. It's not like. No, as long as we don't get an interference where the match gets thrown out and we don't have a definitive winner and it's like, the DQ, that's the only thing that might hurt this because you had all this nice build-up.
Now, with that being what it was, the interference thing you just said. Now, I know that I don't think there's going to be any interference in the match, but what happens after the match is going to set up what happens at Stand Deliver, which is a couple weeks. It's 3 weeks from Roadblock away. 3 weeks. That kind of sets up what is looking to be Roxanne taking on Cora Jade in another match. This time for the championship. We haven't seen Cora, and I think what's going to happen is that Roadblock, after the match, she's going to come out and attack Roxanne, making that match happen for Stand and Deliver. That's what a lot of people in line said. That's what I'm saying. I know a lot of people online are saying this.
I haven't seen.
So I think that's what's going to happen.
It's funny because we'll go back to the Cora Jade situation in a moment. I'm glad you mentioned that being around. As we move on here, we get a match here that first and foremost, and I'm going to address this here. We had JC Jane taking on Indy Hartwell. First of all, Wrestling Inc. I'm going to call you by name. You don't know. Be honest with you, Alfred Kinneward and Demon Diva and the other idiot, the host, Glenn Rubenstein. He's an idiot. First of all, so I hate to say that. He's saying that Indy Hartwell isn't over in NXT. Another idiot that sits down. Yeah, he sits at home eating his Ezekiel bread. Ham and bacon. Don't disrespect that with that. Get out with that noise.
Oh God.
Indy Hartwell is the people's champion in NXT without a title. That lady, when she comes out, she's taking pictures. People love her. This is why you have to listen to, and I wish we could, debate friendly, because we go there. We could tell you the ins and outs of being there. You guys are sitting at home. One is sipping on Malibu. The other one's eating a carrot stick. And the other one's dreaming about Applebee's. Seriously. So, and I listen to them. I'll be honest with you. And I listen to them for not to be like them. I'm listening to you because I don't want to be nothing like you guys. Because you guys suck. With your takes when it comes to talking. They break down wrestling good. Yes, they got their own good stuff. But when it comes to talking about NXT and saying that they know, they're not even there. One's in Puerto Rico, the other one's in Vegas, the other one's in California. I mean, listen to the people who are in Orlando, who goes to that show, who are there, who watches it with our own eyes. But, maybe we might not have the pretty words or the beautiful voice like them, and with all smokes and mirrors. But we telling you from the heart what we see at that arena every week.
What we hear.
And Indy Hartwell is over. Yes, what we hear. Indy is not a heel. She's not a heel. She's a face. Oh, I don't know why they put those two heels. Indy's not over. What are you talking about? Do you actually watch NXT? You review it every week and get paid. And the thing is, they get paid for this crap. And they do a terrible job at it. My goodness. When it comes to NXT, my point, and then again, Indy Hartwell is over. You had a match with JC Jane and Indy. I was torn because you're trying to establish, and I said poor Indy, because you're trying to establish JC Jane as this new up-and-coming singles badass in the women's title picture. No longer a tag team. Now she's on one-on-one. She's on her own, solo. She cut that promo last week, which was a phenomenal promo. She put her partner through the ding-dong door, kicked the shit out of her, and left her face all mangled up. I loved it, Jay. I loved it. I loved the match. The match between, because Indy Hartwell is a safe wrestler. What we will love, everyone will love her to go to the main roster. Indy needs to go to the main roster. There's really nothing for her there. You know, they're not gonna put a strap on her, obviously. You know, because and they're not. So we want to see that. But then this is the part that I did not like. It's just me criticizing because you may agree or disagree. You hurt Gigi you saw her face. We got the sympathy for Gigi already because her face was mangled. Everybody loves her. She's the baby face because she has the caboots. She has a nice looking butt that all the men go gaga for. You know, she's the eye candy in the two wrestling. JC's the better wrestler, the better performer, the better talker on the mic. The mannerism of a heel is JC, no matter what. She's the best one to me. She was the best one of all three of the Toxic Traction women. My point is, you should have let Gigi stay home, give it a build-up where maybe you wouldn't send Byron Baxton or Mackenzie Dern to interview her away from the ring. Maybe in a private location, you know, maybe the diner where they said Apollo, where they seem to eat a lot there in that diner with Gigi there. Her face says, you know what, it hurt me. I'm really hurt that my best friend who I thought we had a sisterhood. We were together. We shared accomplishments in this company. We were 2-time tag team champions, all that good stuff. And to be betrayed and you know what, I will be back. Right now I'm going to deal with this broken heart. And you get more sympathy from the crowd, from the carrot eating podcaster in Las Vegas, plus the Malibu sipping lady in Puerto Rico, and the other Applebee lover in California could get invested. But you bought Gigi back. You bought Gigi back a week too. You bought it too soon, because how are you supposed to get invested in that buildup of, oh, I cannot wait for Gigi get her hands on this JC Jane because she's talking so much trash here in NXT, and she's beating up Indy Hartwell now, and now she's beating up this one, and then she's gonna beat that. I can't wait with them get their hands on the big money fight when it's in Stand and Deliver. I don't know, and I wrote it. I said, what was the rush? Jay, what was the rush of bringing Gigi back so quick like that to go after JC Jane? I understand that she beat the crap out of her. It looks great, but I think they could have made the build and made us wait more.
Now, I think this is what's going to happen. I know Roadblock's 2 weeks away. I think they're going to have a match at Roadblock. One person's going to win. Random episode of NXT, the other person wins. And then finally finish off at Stand and Deliver with whoever wins between JC and Gigi will outcome as the better competitor. Now, I know a lot of people like Gigi, obviously the reason why she said. I know a lot of people like JC because she's a good wrestler and she's good on the mic. She knows what she's doing, she's protecting people in wrestling. She's a good wrestler. She doesn't hurt people, botch moves, none of that. So I get where you're coming from. Why she brought it back too early? It makes no sense. Anything could happen. We didn't see her last week, and then the previous week, then that's when she got her face kicked in. But I don't know. Hey, anything could happen. It could have a match at Roadblock, Stand and Deliver. So I don't know.
Listen, you could have done this, and it's just me. Of course, I'm just a guy here, a few miles away from the Performance Center that lives in Orlando. Just because I live there doesn't mean, I would love to be part of creative and part of those meetings. But personally, I would have just said, you know what, that attack that we had last night, I would have had Gigi done that on Roadblock, and have a match that unbelievable match, a match that we didn't think was gonna happen. Maybe Indy takes on, you have a match between JC Jane. Take on someone. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe part of triple threat, but Ruka, yeah, anything. And before the match even starts, Gigi just interrupts and beats the crap out of her. No contest, throws it out. You protect Ruka or whatever the case is, and then she's just, then we have that. And then now JC, we saw JC had a black and blue all over her elbow, or over her arm. Then you protect her. You know what? We won't see JC now for another 2 weeks. Let them go at it. We finally get, and you have Gigi. I beat you. I'm gonna get my revenge, and I'm gonna knock you. And you have it, and then you have her set it up for Stand and Deliver, because you got, all right, JC knocked Gigi out for a couple of weeks. Gigi came back and knocked JC out for a couple of weeks. We're finally gonna get these two ladies in the ring in a big stage situation, because Toxic Attraction deserve the big stage. Both ladies, because they're 2-time tag team champions. They dominated the tag team division for over a year. they deserve that stand deliver. To be honest with you, we don't deserve them in Roadblock. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally honest with you. We don't deserve them that kind of equality in that. But just to stand the two ladies facing each other face to face, those moments that we saw between Sammy and Roman. I'm not saying that's that caliber. Don't misinterpret it. But wrestling has moments, and those stare down between these two ladies going at it, about to go at it, deserve that big stage and stand and deliver. In my opinion, that's why we haven't seen, and we'll get to it at the main event. Why we haven't seen two individuals stand in front to cut any promos, because it's bigger, larger than life on that. So I would have loved that they would have came that same approach, because now if whoever wins from this battle, if we would have done it that way after stand, you could actually say, you know what, they could easily elevate them to a woman's title contention. But now, since you brought it so close, after that's done, all right, now she'll fight. Now, okay, well, Gigi's gonna go fight Zoe Stark, maybe, and JC Jane will go after Solar Ruka or whoever, whoever the baby face, Wendy Chu. She'll have a nice battle with Wendy Chu, and we'll call it all right. And then we're just spinning the wheels of the hamster turd there. So that's just me. That's just a criticism I had there with that, and I wish they would have done it a little different. But JC Jane, we saw what it was. We saw Drew Gulak putting over Charlie Dempsey in the back. Say why he of Hank, the Wonker. He just saw that. When he saw them in that singlet, he said, "Boy, this guy is not, there's a mate, and it's not. They were not in the pool, and there was some shrinkage, so he went with Charlie Dempsey."
Speaking of Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak, right after that promo, I went outside to the bathroom, during commercial break, and I saw Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey together walking towards, I think, the very right entrance where the bus does that roundabout, towards that area.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw them walking, but Drew Gulak had a gear, like he had gear in a bag. It looked like they were walking away from the Performance Center, going away. So that was just a little thing I just saw. It's not really related to anything happening.
Did they raise their hands up and down, bushwhacker style?
No, I said hi, Charlie. He turned around and waved at me. That's it.
Oh, there you go. All right,
Hey.
all right. You should have
Every
done
time
like
I go to the
Roman.
bathroom.
You should have done it. You should have done like Roman did to Sammy and blew him a kiss.
Oh no, that's Brady's problem there. Because every single time Brady comes back from the bathroom, I go out and he's there, and she misses him every single time. It's funny.
Hey, we saw did that trick. She was doing that handstand. Solar Ruka, they're pushing her to the moon here. She wants a rematch with Zoe Stark, but looks like Zoe Stark wants to fight Mika Saramona. I love the fact that Zoe Stark is engaging on Twitter, starting some Twitter beef as well. And Mika say, you know what, come on, get some. And I love it. I like it because they're building. They don't have to give us hours of promos, and they're just doing it sometimes on Twitter, and they'll let us know that this happened, or digital exclusive, this happened on this is why we're having this match. At least they explain it. It's not like other companies that they have the Twitter beef and we don't even know, all of a sudden they're fighting. Oh yeah, and then you got one guy with a mask tries to tell you why they're fighting, and it sounds like you just go, you take the tape and you press fast forward, and then yeah, at least they give us time to explain it, and we know what goes on, But we have the tag team title match. We have Atlas Boys taking on Inoue, Edris Inoue, and Malik Blade, my guys. Of course, again, let me ask you this: Gallus Boys. What's your thoughts on Gallus Boys? Do you find them boring or not? Because the reason why is our friends who don't live here in Orlando, again, who's eating a carrot, eating broccoli, and all that stuff, saying that they suck. They have no personality. They're boring. They should take the titles away from them. And I'm like, but they're good wrestlers, but they have no investment in them. What's your thoughts on Gallus Boys?
One thing I'm going to say is about that. Rewatch NXT Deadline during the Gauntlet match. Rewatch it back and rewatch the final entrance in that Gauntlet tag team Gauntlet match. Hear the reaction of the crowd. That will determine if they're boring or not. And also,
exactly.
Look who's the tag title. Look who's the champion right now. Look who's the champions. The tag team champions. Gallus. No, I don't find them boring. at all. As much as a lot of people at the Performance Center don't cheer because it's like we really didn't cheer much for Gallus before they left. We booed, but that was because they were heels. Now they're tweeners. So we don't know if we should boo them or should we cheer them. That's kind of why we seem like, what do we do? Do we cheer or boo them? Because we don't know
And they're
if to
good
cheer or boo.
wrestlers.
I cheer for them every time they come out. Let's go Gallus boys. I know, so does Brandy next to me too. We love Gallus boys. We love the
I
UK
stand there
wrestling.
with the pause. I stand there with the pose up on my arms folded. I've been doing that since I've been 5 years old. There's plenty of pictures. If you see my photo album as a kid, I've been doing the Gallus pose all my life with my hands crossed. So yes, indeed. So I've been doing that for many years. So I love the Gallus boys. I really, when it first came out, I was like, who the hell are these guys? I thought Wolfgang who's this old man? But these guys, he's young. It's just their facial hairs and on there, but boy, they are hard hitting. They fight. They're a tag team. I understand everyone. They like Pretty Deadly, by the way. I like, Brent. You sit next to the Pretty Deadly, the queen of the Pretty Deadly fan club. Pretty much. No, and Pretty Deadly is funny. Pretty Deadly is good, but you got to let other people hold the titles and develop. And that's what. And I'm saying it's not Pretty Deadly who wants the titles. I know the other people, the other podcasts don't want Pretty Deadly. They don't like Dallas, whatever the case is. But I like the fact that Pretty Deadly's up to shenanigans, and they're trying to. We love that chase, and when they become champions, they make it funny with the side plays, with the side piece. But that runs its course after a while. Jay, you got to get fresh blood. This is what the WWE is trying to do with Gallus. I really enjoy Gallus boys there. One thing about the match between Enofe and Malik. Enofe hit the Macho Man elbow. Oh my God! I thought he was gonna change the light bulbs up in the ceiling because he got up there. He got up.
Oh yeah.
He got up. He had a kind of botch on a move, just a minor one. He recovered really well there. But all in all, we get Gallus with the victory on the boys. We also saw a cake come out. I know. Listen, for all you people out there that again that criticize from afar, NXT does not allow us to bring any food or drinks from the outside. Nothing. You get room temperature water. When we saw that cake being destroyed on the floor, I can imagine the stomachs that were growling in that arena.
Speaking of that, right as they're going to commercial to change the mat, people are like, "Can we have it? Can we have it?" Like they were chanting, "Can we have the cake? Can we have it?" And Jim was like, "No, no." But hey, it's because we sit there for almost 2.5 hours, 3 hours, plus standing in line. Not a lot of people go out to eat beforehand. Well, people do eat beforehand, but during that, like, let's say you get there like 3 o'clock and you stay there until the end of the show. There's that like long period if you don't eat without eating. So of course we're gonna be hungry. Yeah, we get this size water bottles now. We don't get the small ones anymore, but we get the normal size water bottles now. Yeah, since we've gone, a lot has changed. A lot has changed, including the way we enter the.
I haven't gone in 3 weeks. I haven't gone 3 weeks. I haven't gone 3 weeks to the WWE paper to the Performance Center, Knicks game, and just worked and all that. Good thing because they used to give you the 7-ounce bottle of water.
Yep. Now they give you regular size.
You had to go like an octopus and carry like 7 of them just to have enough to be hydrated because you don't move up and down because also you don't want the arena to look empty when you go get water. Even though they have seat fillers, but still you don't want to, especially with us that we get good seats. We sit I always sit second row. I know you always sit front row behind Booker T and so forth. And we don't want to make those seats look empty. So we try to grab as much water as possible. Also, we don't want to miss the action. It's good. We enjoy it. We invest our time to go watch it. We're going to want to catch every minute of the action, live in person. So
we do it in commercial.
Absolutely.
I tend to try and do it during commercials when there's nothing going on. So nobody coming out to cut promos. Like I know some of the recruits are now cutting promos. We had a debut on Level Up, so good thing I didn't miss that. But there's a lot of stuff that happens in our commercial that you may not see on TV, that we see at the Performance Center. So that's why we try to attend going during commercial most times when nothing's going on. So that's why it seems like, we're just sitting there the whole time doing nothing, just reacting to stuff. We're not. It's because we try to do it.
Before we move on, before we move on real quick, do you think Gallus Boys takes on Pretty Deadly in Roadblock, and then what?
Yeah.
Or is this a stand
If
deliver?
you saw um the digital exclusive after the show, Gallus Boys were wrecking in the back. They were like throwing things around, and then they were talking to Mackenzie, bad, kind of a little bad, but then so I think this is happening at Roadblock, and
All
then
right, so that's
there's going to be a
Roadblock.
fatal. I think there's going to be maybe a fatal 4-way at Stand and Deliver. I know a lot of people are like, enough of the fatal 4-way tag team match. It's because it's fun having 4 teams in a match. It's fun to see them.
I've said it before. I would have loved to see it in Vengeance. If you had a fatal 4-way, it should have been a tables, ladders, and chairs match, because you had the New Day with Kofi doing some great spots. I think it needs safe. You would have had. Personally, I would have liked to seen that in. But if they're gonna do it in Stand Deliver, if the New Day doesn't have anything in WrestleMania, I would have liked New Day to be in Stand and Deliver and be part of that Fatal 4-Way led TLC match, or a ladder match for the tag team titles. I would have mind that there, where there's some spots off the ladders where these guys could do it. If you do add some more blood into the tag team division, if you want to, maybe next time Anofe and Malik makes it to Stand and Deliver, where you have a spot where Malik, it does something off the top ropes. You could have who knows, or off the ladder. Maybe we'll see on that. There, we won't harp too much on that. We'll move on there. We saw Dabo Cable cut a promo on why he attacked Apollo Crew. We got an explanation why he headed Crew headed to NXT. Calling him a bunch of failure. We know that's going to set up that feud, Kato versus Crew. Let me ask you this, another one that I am not invested, I'm not a fan of. Maybe I got to see her more in person, and maybe she'll grow on me. Stevie Turner. I do not.
Speaking of those two, something was happening with the Giant Dawn, so we didn't get to see it or hear it, which was upsetting because they were fixing it. So I didn't get to see the Stevie Turner thing. They got it fixed by the time she said stream offline and that little thing that she does when it's offline. But that was all. I didn't see or hear anything else from them.
I'll tell you real quick. It was basically talking about Laura Bakari. What does it mean to have feathers? Is every time her feathers are going to keep growing whenever she defeats certain opponents? Just talking about her, and then she read a couple of super chats, similar to what we do here, with some super chats, and she read it, and then when the Booker T or Vic started asking questions, she didn't want to answer towards that, and she cut the stream with it. Now, one thing that I wasn't a big fan of, and I know Stevie Turner comes from UK, and if you saw NXT UK, she was a big deal there. She wrestled well, whatever. She's a veteran, I guess, from NXT. I never saw her wrestle. Personally, I'm not invested in it, but it's just another. I would have liked to see Davenport more, because I thought I was more impressed with Davenport than Turner. But the point is, when Turner made her debut, she fought Diana Palmer, and Diana Palmer didn't get the victory. She got pinned by Turner. But a week before, you had and that was Turner's debut. The week before, you had the debut of Lola Vice against Danny Palmer. Danny Palmer pins Lola Vice, and I understand that shouldn't be on the wrestler's fault, because that's creative. Who determines who goes over or doesn't. But I didn't like the fact, because you have a badass MMA fighter who has a great record in MMA, who could really knock anyone out, and then she loses to Danny Palmer. And meanwhile, Danny Palmer loses to a Stevie Turner, and this doesn't make sense. It doesn't boggle my mind, and that's why I maybe a little biased that I don't like Stevie Turner because of that. It's not her fault, but I just wasn't impressed with her match. I saw a really nice kick by Lola Vice to hit Danny Palmer, and Danny Palmer kicks out of it. Are you kidding me? This is this an MMA. This is a black belt that hit you with that kind of kick, and you kicked, and then Turner hit us with her finishing move was and you got the pin on Danny Palmer. That's my problem, Jay. This is that. Maybe I just did my own therapy session here. I'll pay myself my fee for sitting on the couch and having a therapy session there.
Hey, I at first when I started seeing her promos, I was excited because I was like, yes, another UK star. I like these UK stars coming in
Yeah.
and showing what the UK, because I've never watched NXT UK, and now that I want to watch NXT UK, and I really don't want to look back, I want to see the current NXT UK stars. It's gone. I gotta wait till NXT Europe comes to watch the current stars now that are in NXT to go to NXT Europe. But I was excited. I wanted to see Stevie turn, and then the match happened. I was like, oh no, another no. I just didn't like it. And then the match, and then now that you talk about it, no, I don't. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I know. And let's see what happens with Turner.
It's disappointing.
But then we have a match here. We saw a little back. There's some teasing here between a manager and wrestler. We have Von Wagner with Mr. Stone. Look like there's gonna lead to a breakup or something's gonna happen between two of them. And of course, he's taking on my partner, my paisan, the Don of NXT. So the Don of the Watch Along was watching along against the paisan. Oh baby.
So you know how when Tony D'Angelo came out and then cut commercial, during commercial, Brandy and Tony were talking, like he was on the mic, and then you sort of saw Stax. So she showed her sign, and then Stax is like pointing at it and trying to get Tony's attention, and Tony's purposely missing and going over it and over, and then Stax went crazy about it, and then they had an interaction, and then during the whole commercial they were just talking and talking and talking, so it was fun. And then during the match, Mr. Stone was sitting in that chair. I said something and he turned around and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Nothing." And then so I like interacting with the stars. It's fun.
Now we saw Tony D'Angelo get the victory on Von Wagner. Mr. Stone. I don't get what Mr. Stone wants him to do there. Where does Von Wagner goes here? A style change or whatever? But it looks like, because we did see it, we saw tease from Chelsea Green, Robin Stone production, RS. If you see on her Tritantron, the RS is for Robert Stone, and I've been saying that. I've been saying it before. I've been proponent. NXT not only needs to make the wrestlers of tomorrow and get them ready for the main roster, they also need to start making managers. They need to get some guys who purposely, who may not be fitting for in ring, maybe not have the stature or the size, whatever the case is, but are hell of a promo, who could talk, who are wit, who are smart, who could catch it. Because we need the next generation. Because remember, Paul Heyman is not getting any younger. We're going to need those. The second managers do have a purpose in wrestling, because they help tell a story. They help navigate and move wrestlers along. We need some heels and we need some babyface managers. And I think one of the disservices is letting Stokely Hathaway leave. Michael Bivens, he was another one. I know he wanted to leave by choice, but they need these type of mouthpieces. Robert Stone, I've always said it. Robert Stone should be managing Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Let him go out there and cut those promos. Go up there. Maybe he goes up, with another certain wrestler. Will if he gets up there to be his mouthpiece. It just, they need to start developing the next wave of managers. Maybe a female wrestler who's wit, who could cut, who has a good voice. Get her ready as a female manager with a staple. Maybe Maxine Dupree was, let's face it, when she was down in NXT, she was just eye candy. She really didn't talk much on the microphone. She'll come out and just stay there and smile, she like the next item on The Price is Right. I wanted her to cut some promos, talk, give me something, and when you hear her with Otis, she's too soft spoken, like no, I need the female wrestler or a female manager that could talk, who could get in there, who will cut a promo. And personally, be honest with you, Jay, when her wrestling career is over, after she has that run as Impact champion, Mickie James will be a hell of a manager, because she knows the art of cutting a promo. And this is a little bit off topic, but we all know she's gonna wind down in another year or two. She'll be done wrestling. Be honest with you, and she could still take some bumps if she stops when she drops that Impact title. Make her come in. I know Nick Aldis is a free agent. I think I think he's your UK. I think he's gonna be NXT Europe. I just keep saying it. I say it over and over. I think that's just me, not just a gut. But Mickey James, you could have her come and arrive to do NXT or the main roster as a manager. She could go over. You could manage male and females. We need the other. We desperately need managers to help tell a story, and I think she could tell a story. And manage and cut promos. I think that's the type of way they should go or find or just develop. Personally, NXT, you have to develop all those levels, not just performers. You need managers as well. We see the referees. We see a lot of referees go up to the main roster where they were NXT refs. That's another. They're also learning their bumps. They need to do that with when it comes to managers as well. It's gonna be interesting there to see there what happens with Robert Stone and Von Wagner. But we do see Tony D'Angelo challenging in the most oxymoron match, jailhouse street fight. So let me ask you this, Jay. If you're in a jailhouse, do you have access to be in the street?
No.
So how the hell are you going to be in a jailhouse and you're going to be in the street fighting? Either you're locked up or you're in the street.
Maybe the outcome, the winner goes to jail, or the loser goes to jail. The jailhouse.
Okay.
I have no clue what this is. I have no clue. I just heard street fight and I popped. That's all I heard.
Yeah.
I heard street fight. Yes.
It's gonna be hard hitting. It's gonna be hard hitting. Tony D'Angelo and Dijak going at it. That's gonna be a good one there. Let me ask you this: after this program is over with Dijak, and I like it because Dijak is taking away the heat away from Tony D'Angelo to go up with Wesley, because we know some of us want Tony D'Angelo with some titles already. He's been in it for so long. It's be nice to see Tony D'Angelo with some gold around his waist. But right now, at what expense? Because Wesley's over. I'm sorry, but when Wesley decides, whenever they decide to take that strap from him, he's gonna have to run immediately for a world title program because he's that over. Wesley has come strong, but do Tony D'Angelo take on the champion after Stand and Deliver? But that's down the line. Down the line, we'll talk about that. That we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. For Tony D'Angelo, or maybe a world tag team, because him and Stax are becoming really close. Could we see them challenging for a tag team titles? Gallus Boys, hard hitting. Maybe Tony D and Stax. Is it a chance now that Tony D will get some gold because they are really good? Stax has improved. I love his backstage promo. He has come a long way from that kid we saw in June. We're like, who the hell is this guy wet behind the ears with Tony? And like, he's come up. He hasn't. One of the most improved wrestler. It hasn't been a year that we've seen him. He has come a long way. I really enjoy. He benefited working alongside a Tony D'Angelo with all the program. He done well. Kudos to Chad. For Stax Lorenzo, who's done a phenomenal job. I mean, I'm giving him his praises. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm hoping Tony and Stax get some gold around the waist. Maybe a tag team title run possibly. But you never know. It could be Tony become a mid-card title or Stax becomes a mid-card champion. Anything could happen, but I need Tony to have some gold, at least.
Yes, hopefully the beginning of this after Stand and Deliver or soon there's some gold around his waist. We get a match here between Alba Fire. He's accompanied with Isla Dawn taking on Ivy now with Tatum Paxley. At first, Tatum Paxley wasn't coming out. And of course, we see that with Thea Hale being afraid, and now we're starting to see Taylor Paxley afraid. We saw last week with the speaker Isla Dawn making doing whatever she needs to do. Go ahead. I know you had something to say real quick.
The reason why she came out now was because her family was there. I had a conversation with her sister and her brother who was there, because I know her sister, her brother, and her mother were there. So I know they were there. So I kind of had a conversation because it was near where the stairs were. So I kind of had, a little talk. But yeah, no, that's the reason why.
And of course, why did you tell him, how do you stomach Javi? That's the question you should have been asking.
Listen. But hey, I don't know. But I was talking to them about I forgot what I was talking to them about. It was like a quick 5-second conversation, and then I went to the bathroom. But yeah, they were there. They were
You let
behind
you
Booker T.
you didn't leave him with a drive-by, right?
Oh no. No.
All right, kiddo. All right. So we had the match there. Number 5 beats Niles by pinfall, and to be honest with you, I didn't really watch too much of this match. I'm gonna let you, if you have the details on this match, go ahead. All I could say was, why is Ivy now losing here? Remember, she started off as a badass. She was like, oh, Diamond Mine, this little short fuse temper fighter. And I don't know if his booking has not done her any services, being in Diamond Mine, or I think the luster or the fresh paint of cone something.
I didn't watch the match either. I was on Twitter. The only thing I really caught was the ending of the match. When Ivy Nile went against the ropes and knocked Pax down. So that was the only thing I really caught.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
And let me ask you this: are they teasing Pax turning on Ivy now?
Yes, 100%, without a doubt.
Is she gonna? Do you think she'll join the witches? I mean, that's all I can think of.
No, I think she's gonna go solo.
A little Sokoa.
Yeah, a little Sokoa.
All right. And we saw a backstage promo from Nikita Lyons. We good to see her there, at least with the crutches. With Tiffany interaction, say that she's gonna, if she really blame me, maybe it was you who did that. She goes, "Listen, if I would have hurt you permanently." So I like the fact that she was a totally SOB from Tiffany Stratton. I guess we're gonna get a long story booking here on who hurt Nikita Lyons. Maybe it's someone that's not even in the company, Jay. When
Or
Nikita's ready to
returning,
come in.
or a new returning star, or a new star.
New star.
Maybe
I think
Blair
it's-
Davenport.
Okay, I thought it was gonna be Brooklyn. Remember Brooklyn? The
No.
blonde chick. Yeah, she's been hurt. She was out with an injury. And she was on a trajectory when she came out. She was another one that was over like Nikita, and she hurt her knee, and maybe that's the storyline where she's, no, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking it's her. I'll send you the lady. I'll send you her outside.
Yeah, you
when
remember?
we get
You gotta
off the air.
remember. I started watching NXT.
Right, that's right.
Worlds Collide.
Right. And I started, and I went back as Stand and Deliver, but before that she got injured. Because like when Zoe Stark returned for that battle royal, I'm like, who the hell is that? She got hurt in Halloween Havoc. And I'm like, oh, okay. And now, right now I'm a big Zoe Stark fan. And it took me time to get to know a Zoe Stark, but I really appreciate a Zoe Stark, and I think Brooklyn's another one. I'll send you her to keep an eye on her. She is. She looks like Nikita, not as thick as Nikita Lyons. She don't have the curves, but she's kind of like a between Nikita and Soruka type body build, blonde, beautiful, very beautiful lady. And I believe that's what her saying, I believe they could book that there because she's about to return around that same time as Nikita returns back from injury. Maybe she's the one that attacked her and just kind of an envy spite. I got injured. I'm going to make sure bitterness, whatever the case is, ain't that there. So before we get to the main night, we have Wesley announcing they have a North American Open Challenge next week. It'll be interesting who would answer that. Would it be a Tyler Bates? Would it be a Dragon Lee?
Listen, every single time he does an Open Challenge, I'm just hoping it's a main roster star. I'm just hoping. I want to see Wesley take on a main roster talent, just like Carmelo Hayes took on Ricochet. I want another one of those banger matches.
Maybe a Wesley gets cocky, because maybe now that Mustafa Ali got some victory, he'll get a little cocky and say, "I want to go for championship gold and North American title." Maybe he'll go down and fight Wesley.
He's like, "Yeah, I beat a veteran. I beat a former world heavyweight champion. I could take on Wesley."
Or don't always get what you want because we'll end up getting Tajiri. I'm like, oh. Tajiri Ozawa.
I got my hopes up. I got my
Tajiri
hopes up
Ozawa,
last
I'm like,
time. Oh God, I got my hopes up last time. You got Von Wagner. I didn't watch the
No, well,
match, and I was there.
maybe you get Ichiman.
Oh no, where's he been?
I don't know. He's been making another jacket. I don't know. Maybe they juiced them up. There's no more juice in that jacket no more. Who knows? I mean,
Scripps took it. It doesn't feel right.
yeah, no. He's over there writing memoirs with scripts somewhere.
uh,
Oh God! Oh, the pain. Well, we get to the match of the night, like Jay says. Damn.
no,
Breaker carry
no.
pro wrestling again.
No.
Is Jinder Mahal versus Braun
Rick Williams and Ilya Dragunov carried this show.
Breakker.
Not no Braun
Now,
Breaker and Jinder Mahal.
when I looked at the at the time, it was 10. It was 9:53. I go, this is gonna go over. I looked at that. I said, this is gonna go over for sure. No way, this is gonna be a quick match between these two gentlemen, and that was a test for Braun, finding a wrestler who's taller, bigger in stature size, not as heavy, but I understand where the crowd again. Braun Breaker sucks. Again, when we talked about it earlier, this is not planted by the WWE. Again, anyone who can hear this podcast, there is folks that do not like Braun Breaker. A lot of the folks that are on the line that go personally, who go there, and I know them personally, having a conversation myself with them, talking about Braun Breaker, there's a lot that don't like him. They don't like his promo skills. They think he's boring. They think he's not exciting because he gets flustered a little bit with his promo skills. I love Braun Breaker. I'm reverse one. I'm a Braun Breaker fan. I am a big Braun Breaker fan. I love Braun Breaker. I think he's the future of the wrestling. The way the way his look, the way he wrestles. Now, does he need a mouthpiece? Absolutely. That's why I keep harping and saying the NXT needs to build new managers. You notice how I'm trying to protect my guy Braun, but I understand where you might not like a Braun. I understand that. I get all your points. I'm not debating. I'm not taking that away from you. You're entitled to your points due to your opinions. I believe, when it's Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes is right now leaps ahead of Braun Breaker, but who's going to make you more money, more marketable is a Braun Breaker. I'm sorry to say that. He's just got that wholesome, corn-fed look. And of course, we're still living in an America that still sells. Dollars and cents wise, Carmelo Hayes is the better star, better at it. But when you're talking about money and printing money, the Braun Breaker, the John Cena, you see that clean cut, wholesome, corn fed Brock Lesnar, they make money. And I'm not saying you can't go wrong with. That's why that's why they want to put the strap on Cody. He's that cornbread, that white thread, that meat and potatoes guys. Why rushing taking off a Roman? We could get to a whole debate on that. I'll make a whole podcast on just that alone, on why. And I think Braun has the bigger upside when it comes to making money. Carmelo is the better star. They push him. They could bring him to the moon. My point is, I understand why the universe dislikes a Braun Breaker. I personally would love him to get Paul Heyman. He comes up to the main roster, make him a heel. Let him go. Let him be with Heyman. He doesn't have to talk much. The way Heyman put over a Brock Lesnar, a Roman Reigns. He didn't need it. With CM Punk didn't need didn't need Heyman. But my point is, you get that manager with a Braun Breaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the son of the Steiners and this and that. And he comes out there and there's so many, and that's for later down the road. And I get it. I get it why the dislike for Braun Breaker is as well. He could, some people I'm like, I've seen this already in the 90s and 80s. I can see that. Baby faces tend to get boring and stale immediately to the people's eyes. The heel, because they're always looking for what does the heel need to keep going? Heat. The baby faces got you. They trying to hit to your sympathy heart. I feel bad for this heel. He got his butt kicked. But he'll triumph. He'll overcome. And and then it's like, here we go when he wins. Oh, here goes the baby face. Oh, peaches and vanilla, because you tend to be. It's not reality. It's not that easy. For that's why the faces, when they win a lot, doesn't go over, because there's no obstacle. There's no adversity. They're always winning. It makes it look easy, too easy. Like, it's boring. Oh, here he goes. He's gonna do this. He's gonna win. That's why the baby faces are not liked. That's why you can see a Braun Breaker not liked, and rightfully so. You have the right to not like it. I don't. Let me talk to you about this match. How did Jinder look up close and personal?
He looked huge. I was like, what the heck? I don't remember Jinder being that tall. And I was like, okay, maybe he is tall in person. Maybe it's just the television makes him look a little smaller. But he was definitely taller than Braun. He looked like a behemoth, a giant, compared to Braun Breaker. Yeah, he definitely looks like a giant.
Now, there was a spot where Braun leapfrog over the leapfrog over Jinder Mahal. I was impressed with the height. Braun is athletic. Don't get me wrong. He was a former fullback and undrafted for the Ravens. He's athletic, and I get it again. And I don't want to sound like I'm waving the pom poms for Braun Breaker. Neither. I don't want to be too much because it gets nauseating too. I don't want to be now. Jedi sucks. No, I don't need that right now. I'm not looking for heel, though. We are the Heel the Ring podcast. We could use the heat for viewers, but the point is, he gets the victory. The crowd is starting to get to Braun Breaker, showing him. It shows on his demeanor, his face, because when he got that pin on Jinder, he wasn't satisfied because it wasn't one of his patented clean Braun Breaker finish. It was a little clunky to get the pin, and his face especially was disappointed on the way he got that finish. Braun it's starting to get to him, and this is where he's gonna need to rely heavily, be honest with you, on his uncle and his dad, because they know about this. They know about this world and going in there. Granted, there is some great coaches in NXT. They have some great bookers and coaches there to give them the word of advice there. But sometimes something personal, like if it's really bothering him, should go to family where it stays internal, because at the end of the day, wrestling is a cutthroat business. There's a lot of politicking. There's a lot of backstage crap that if you tell an agent and might leak or say something, they might use that against him. So I think if it is something bothering him, I hope he goes ask his family, who's in the business, to how they deal with it and how they overcome it. And hopefully he gets some great advice from personally, I would go with Big Papa Pump, because he was the one who and then besides that, I wanted to mention that I'm talking about. I saw Braun try to bring back the Steiner recliner there on Jinder. I was like, yeah, okay. That was cool. I haven't seen him use that for a while, the longest.
He's trying to get a little bit of a pop out of us because, some of us at the Performance Center chant Braun Breaker sucks. I am one of them, and I know a couple people are. But he's trying. He is trying, and I know what you said. He looked upset. He was mad after the match. After NXT went off the air, he didn't stay to sign with people. He didn't stay to sign and do autographs, take pictures. He left immediately. He was not having it. He was having a rough night for sure, especially with the crowd booing him and not liking him. It added on top of that too. So yeah, it's definitely starting to get to him.
And that's a challenge, though. Be honest with you, Jay. The easy thing here is make him heel. Drop a title, make him heel, let him go Big Daddy, kind of like Big Daddy, his uncle, and you could actually you could even have Cora Jade come out with him, all that, and do all that like Big Papa Pump did back in the day, not rip off the gimmick, but kind of look a little bit into and put his own take on him. Like, oh, some of us didn't see when Big Papa Pump ran around with the valet and created havoc, in the independent circuit and so forth. But we should see where it goes for Braun. And then before that, where they did not show us, like I mentioned, I was saying it earlier, we haven't had that face-to-face. Remember talking about Gigi and JC? We haven't had that face-to-face that I thought, you want to build for them to see the very first time. We haven't seen Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. They teased because Braun was about to say him and they got interrupted. We saw Carmelo. Was that Carmelo Hayes up in the rafters?
Yep.
Exactly. We didn't see it in the key.
He had a drink. He had a drink in his hand. I don't know what it was. It was like a bottle.
At all. We knew there was someone there, but no, they didn't show it because Grayson Waller took over the the TV screen. They went into the WWE Peacock app. We saw, and then he hijacked the show the way DX hijacked the show many years ago, saying that on 2 weeks from Roadblock, we're gonna have the Grayson Waller effect with his guest star, none other than HBK, Shawn Michaels. So he's actually gonna come out on the crowd, unless if he does another backstage interview, which I think that's what's gonna happen. He isn't gonna come out. He's gonna do another backstage interview, telling him he's gonna have someone represent him the way Regal had Samoa Joe represent him in NXT Black and Gold, and I guarantee it's gonna be someone against Grayson Waller in Stand and Deliver. That's all I could think of. That's what hate to sound anticlimactic, but I think that's what.
If they do it again and again and again, and it keeps happening, we're not gonna like HBK at the end of the day. If he keeps doing this backstage crap, I'm not gonna cheer if he ever comes out. I'm not gonna get excited. I'm not gonna pop.
Give the fans, give the guys, give the
give
folks,
us what we want.
We all want to give you an acknowledgement. We all want to pop you over. We respect your career. We respect everything that you've done, and of course, when we hear that iconic music, we want to cheer you on. We want to get maybe most of the people there didn't probably see HBK live, and this is the chance where they're going to get to see him live there. Yeah.
No. I did see HBK. Well, it was at Hell in a Cell when he was a special guest referee, but that really didn't count.
Right. I got to see him wrestle. I got to see him. Hey, listen. I was there when they debuted. I was in Madison Square on the house shows when they debuted the DX song for the very first time. Are you ready? That was the biggest pop. My God, boom, boom. My goodness, man. I've got the picture with my son. He's sitting there with a bottle on Madison Square Garden eating cotton candy. I think he was like a year and a half, 2 years old, sitting there, and that's when they debuted with DX, and my son was there. Now he's 27 years old. It's going to be 27 on Tuesday, and my goodness, I look at that picture. My God, that's when DX were debuted, and Kane debuted came on and part of the house shows, and great memories. And and people have not seen an HBK experience that. If he comes out with DX or if he comes with the HBK music, people want to see it. Give them, all you have to just come out, kind of promo, come on out from the Gorilla for 5 minutes, and people want to see that from Shawn Michaels.
Even just the song, we just want to come. Yeah. I want to just see the entrance. That's all I want to see.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
it.
Even if he comes with a cowboy hat, even though maybe he's afraid he might see he might crisscross the ropes with his lazy eye. I don't know. Who knows what? Maybe that's what it is.
That's all we want to see. We just want to see HBK.
That's the NXT review there. So we have NXT down. We'll let's touch the final program here, which is Dynamite. Now, Dynamite. Oof. I know they made 1 million views, and they have not been a good product lately. They're trying to build for their Revolution pay-per-view. Dynamite. Boy, let me give you the cards real quick. It was the matches were announced was the All Atlantic champion. It was Orange Cassidy, Willie Yuta. That started it off. Orange Cassidy, Willie Yuta, Mr. Personality. Oh my God, the match was a match. But there's no story built behind it. It's just a match. The crowd. One thing, the crowd looks phenomenal. They always look good in Phoenix. First time in Phoenix, you get the back and forth there with they're teasing Willa Yuta and the Blackpool Combat Club as turning as heels. Because let me ask you this, Jay: when you're watching AEW, do you actually know who's definitely a heel and who's a face? It's like there is none. It's not.
No.
And
the only people I know that are heels are like the JAS and like people who like and MJF.
Let me ask you this. Is it really a heel when people are singing the whole song for Jericho's entrance? Are you really a heel?
No. I mean, I sing MJF's song when he comes out, but like,
but MJF goes out of his way to insult you.
Jericho did.
Yeah.
He did.
That's the only one. I could give you those two, but they are still over with the crowd, and it depends what city they're in, because they want to cheer so badly. After you drink a couple beers, you want to start going. You get to lose your marbles. And I respect the crowd in AEW for getting invested from the very beginning. Like I said, they could put two turds in the middle of the ring and they'll hold nuts as long as it's an AEW ring, and of course, and they say, and if they do throw a couple of WWE jabs, it looks phenomenal. They'll go after it. They'll cheer. But personally, the Will and Yuta match, I mean, Orange Cassidy, a lot of people don't. I thought he was fun. I think there's a little bit of comedy there, back and forth. Will and Yuta in the pin. We saw where Galio Cassioni came out a couple times and in the match, Will and Yuta to get him going, that pump up. And then Orange Cassidy wanted to hug it out with Will and Yuta because they were friends, and Yuta saw Claudio come out, and no, he just didn't get him and left. And of course, so I said, is there a possible heel turn between the Blackpool Combat Club, which makes sense? A pool combat club, you should be heels. You're out there, combat club. You're out there to kick people's ass and take things later. They need to turn heel. They need to be heel from the very beginning. William Regal's not a face when he was part of that group. Putting it together, you need a bunch of heels. Moxley, and I guess people got over, but we shall see where that leads there between them. Then we have Ricky come up for a promo. He's in a green suit, a booger green suit. No, not a booger green. It was like a hunter green suit with a contract in his pocket, and Jericho, he says, I'm done with Jericho. I don't want to wrestle Jericho. I'm done with it. We've done that. Here's an open challenge. And here comes Jericho again. Now, Jay, one thing I tell you, Jay, I don't know if you remember. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you a quick story. When I started the Heal the Ring podcast about a year ago, I invited guests, not the normal co-host that I had before. That I had guests come on and come on, hey, talk wrestling, and they will always complain. WWE is boring, it's stale. Vince McMahon sucks. Vince McMahon is the worst. He's making the WWE terrible. We give us repeat matches, 50-50 booking, repeat matches, all that whole crap, and they will keep saying that all the time. There will be a crutch. And when I'm seeing here in Revolution, it's 50-50. It's 50-50 booking. And I'll get to the wise 50-50 and repeat matches. We're having another repeat match with Jericho and Ricky Starks. We see that already. We're getting another. We're getting Dynasty and MJF. But it says, it's repeat. We're getting a lot of different repeat matches. Is my point. And those are the same folks that say AEW is better because McMahon is killing it. It's 50-50 booking and repeat matches every night, everything. And we're seeing that here with All Elite Wrestling, and you hear crickets from these idiots. You will hear crickets. We don't hear them saying, now AEW. I know, although the numbers are showing that AEW is losing viewership because it's becoming repetitious. There's no storyline. It's just matches. Dave Meltzer gives it 5 stars. Okay, but where's the moments? With these 5-star matches, do you remember those moments? No. And I get back to the AEW. It's not AEW hate because they have a great roster. I like the fact that Ricky Starks comes out and Jericho comes out and answers it. I love all the mannerisms that Jericho did. And I love Ricky Starks giving him his props, saying, you beat 2 champions in one night. Trying to build them up. Reverse psychology. They told a story. That's what AEW has been missing. Storytelling. They stole a nice story on why they're going to have a match. They got me like, oh, it's a repeat match, but I like it because I like the story that you're telling me. I like the fact that Jericho says, well, if I will keep the JSA away, and if I had a pen, I'll sign it right now. And then Ricky Starks had a pen, and I love that Jericho went to the list. And my God, one thing we had, and I don't know if you haven't been messing up, which is great. But back in the day, whenever we had the other co-hosts and my friends, and then you see them, they come on the watch along. Whenever they will skip ahead or give a spoiler or say something corny, they will get on.
So you know what? You just made the list. Oh no! Oh, here we go.
And you saw that he got on the list. So I love the fact he clicked the pen. And it came on a little bit of to the list. And I loved it. I love the back and forth. I love the fact that when after he signed it, Ricky Starks looked at the camera and gave you that smirk. It reminded me of the Bugs Bunny duck season, rabbit season when he reversed it and he got a sign. you know what? That was my favorite part of the whole Dynamite, to be honest with you.
Yeah, listen, Ricky Starks' face, like the facial things that he did during that whole thing when Jericho came out, he kind of looked at the camera. It was like he was breaking the fourth wall, and he was like, "Really, this dude again." So I love Ricky Starks. He's amazing. It's funny. These two between. I know it's repetitive, but it's funny. It makes Dynamite better if it's funny instead of having this repetitive matches and just matches that make no sense. John Moxley, Evil Uno. You got all these matches that make no sense. So like,
yeah, it's an issue here because then we have then they go to commercial, whatever the case was. Then you get the Acclaim taking on Big Bill and Lee Moriarty. I could not. I like Acclaim. The one thing I love their rap. That rap that they not all the time. Last night's rap that he did was good. He referenced Big Cass as soft. WWE. But yeah, that was good. That was really good. I love that. I really like that on there with Stokely Hathaway and so forth. And that was good. The match itself, I thought you have a big guy here in Cass, Big Bill. I know his real name is William, and that's why they go Big Bill. I don't like the name. I wish they would have kept it, whatever when he was originally. But it is what it is. I can't get into when I see a Lee Moriarty. I don't know what it is. It's his name or what. I associate jobber, and I hate to say he's probably not a jobber. He's probably a good wrestler, but I'm like it's just sometimes some wrestlers they get the 8 ball with either their introduction music or their name. And you could tell when they're not gonna be good. And when I saw Lee Moriarty, I was like, this guy's never gonna be good. He's gonna stay as that. Ugh. And of course, you get and maybe he is a good wrestler, but it's just those two things strike. Those are two strikes there. I'm like, you already got me lost. We get the Guns Club come out, getting interference. They actually punched Billy Gunn in the mouth there. It's like, oh, there goes that possible heel turn there where on the Acclaim. And of course, Acclaim wins. Bowens and Caster, they are getting better week after week. They get better as a tag team with the moves and the wrestling moves. They're really good. They actually got over with the gimmick, but they actually put the work as performers. You can see the hard work with Billy Gunn paying off every week with the Acclaim. First I was like, now I'm like, I must watch. One of the must watch for AEW is Acclaim, but when they saw the tag team who they were facing, I was like, God, I was like, I hated to say that, but
this thing that's happened at Revolution, we'll get to it later on in the show.
Yeah, we'll get to it. And one spot here that was shocked. This is 3 weeks in a row. They have moved that dreadful 9:30 women's slot, and now the women are moving around. We saw them close out last week. But this time they were at the crossover hour between the 8 and 9 o'clock hour. But again, Sky Blue versus Saraya. Now, I know I've seen a lot of people on one person. Saraya's getting a lot of heat, go away heat from the AEW crowd. Go away, you're not good. And it's sad because she worked her rear end to try to get back and wrestle. I know she still loves the passion. She's only 27, 26 years old.
But wasn't those the same people that wanted her back in the ring?
Absolutely.
That makes no sense.
They flip-flop there more than pancakes.
Oh my God.
Because they were like, oh, every woman that comes out, they go, they go that same stupid face. She's here. And she's gonna change, revolutionize. They thought with Ruby No came out, with Tony Storm, which has the most annoying introduction music in all of wrestling, and so forth, and Saraya's go away heat. Now you see Saraya giving people the finger. Before she was like throwing kisses, and I love you guys for welcoming me back. This is my house. Now she don't even dare to say this is my house. She can't stand being there because she's giving everyone the finger. You know, like, oh, this is my house, and they were like, yeah, you know, boy, has the mighty fallen. You know,
Yeah.
it's and the match was clunky.
I
This
didn't
match
watch
was
it.
clunky. No, it wasn't a good match. Sky Blue,
Yeah.
you know, and then it's the same
Yeah.
recycle. It's the same recycled nonsense. You know, you
Yeah.
saw Brick Breaker come out. You know, with Jamie Hayter interfering, Tony Storm, you know, interfering, causing distractions. You know, where Saraya gets the tap out. Then of course everyone comes in at the end, and then I'm sorry, Ruby Soho or Ruby No comes out, and she comes out, gets out of the way. Now we're getting, you know, and now we look like we're getting a triple threat for all the three ladies
Yep.
to challenge the champion, challenge all, you know, let's do a triple threat. And I was like, okay, that's all cool and dandy, but is there? Let me say something. I hate to say it. I'm gonna say it anyway because it's on my mind, and I'm gonna get back heat or whatever the case is. Is there segregation in AEW? Because why is it that Jay Cargill only wrestles the baddies, you know, or Velvet, and why is, you know, Sky Velvet and Kiera Hogan, and maybe you have a little bit Madison Ray in the beginning. They fed her as a guppy for Jay Cargill. Why isn't Tony Storm going after a Jay Cargill title? You were the former women's champion. Why are you stuck spray painting your rear end and hip checking people where you were upset? Oh, I'm leaving WWE because they didn't let me wrestle in a ball and panties, and they threw a cake in my face, a pie in my face. That's why I'm leaving, for my mental health. Meanwhile, you're there doing spray painting your rear end to do what? Jay, it doesn't make sense. It's the level of stupidity doesn't make sense. Like, where are we going with it? Why can't you, if you're the former women's champion, why aren't you challenging Jay Cargill? You have an obstacle there who's 50 plus and no. What is it? Why are you, what's the segregation here? Why are you not challenging the sister? What's going on? Why isn't the sister getting a world title shot? You know, what's something, you know, what's the deal?
Listen, I don't know what they're doing with Jade Cargo. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know why there's no big name stars going after her. Like, why isn't Dr. Britt Baker going after her? What is she doing at Revolution? It's Jamie Hayter, Saraya, and Ruby Soho. What is Tony Storm gonna do? What's Dr. Britt Baker gonna do? They're doing nothing. They're just gonna sit there. They're not having matches.
And I don't want to see them wrestle each other either. Go after Jay Cargill.
Listen. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Go after Jay Cargill.
You know what? You want to impress me, Jake? You want to impress and make an obstacle? Give me a triple threat with those ladies, with Jay Cargill. You know, and even if Jay beats a Tony Storm with Britt Baker, but you have them all three women in the program in a ring. That's a big name women's match there. But we know we're too busy because the Snowman has an announcement to make. Oh no, the Snowman. You know, I've got an announcement to make. I can't book this right now. You know, hold on. Oh, no. Wait, look over here. Hey, look over here. Look over here. Don't look over there. Look over here. I got an announcement to make. No. Let's not talk about the real stuff. The problem there. This is the problem. This is why their ratings keep going down and down and down. We get it.
It only went up. It only went up this week only because people are hyping up the announcement, which is it's not even a good announcement.
And the thing is, let's talk about that right now. The Snowman, the con man, decides that he's gonna go pick a fight with the lowest guy on the wrestling tadpole, and he's not, and it's not because he's a low guy. It's because he's not a wrestler. He's a sport. He has an independent sports program that talks, and he welcomes MMA as well as wrestling. Ariel Helwani. He goes and he throws salt at him, right? And he's getting some heat. Oh, and wait a minute. Oh, he doesn't like me talking about him. Look at him. Look at that mark. Calm down, con man.
Just because he went on WWE television.
He went on WWE, but that he did that. Everything was ploy there with a reason. Remember he's not a dumb person either. Jay.
No.
He runs the analytics, although the Jacksonville Jaguars, my God, they suck. But he's the analytics guy who runs the Jaguars. He knows about calculated risk and all that other nonsense. Let me go after Helwani, get some heat. Cole mentioned, we got the back and forth for Helwani. People now in Twitter, he's trending for that reason. And then he waits and say, I got an announcement to make. A big announcement, major announcement. So all the people that are thinking it's a Twitter trolling or back and forth beef, guess what? What killed the cat? Curiosity. So we were curious to see what the hell this guy's going to bring up. What's his big announcement? So that's why he swerved all of us and got the 1 million views, because people thought it was a major monster announcement that had to do with something with the Hawani, and he dipped into some of the WWE people curiously on what this guy is going to talk about. And I think that's where he got those big numbers. But what time will tell if that was just a momentarily bump for Tony Khan. But we'll move on here with Khan. Personally, he swerved us. He's driving. He's a disaster right now. You know, make the announcement there. He's gonna say that he's gonna have another show back, All Access, AEW All Access. It's gonna come after Dynamite, behind the scenes nonsense. You can't even get Ring of Honor its own show. Your Rampage sucks. It only draws 200 plus 300,000 people. Dynamite is at 800,000, and they're gonna give you another show to draw what, 40,000 people? I mean, you can't even write these other three wrestling shows, and you're gonna do another show. You got too much on your hands, guys.
Yeah, and he himself couldn't even say the announcement. He had to have a top star like Adam Cole, baby, to make the announcement. And then the icing on the cake, he had to, and he knows it was that bad of an announcement that now they have to announce that Adam Cole is coming back to the ring. He's making his in-ring return the day of All Access's season premiere, right after Dynamite. Like, okay, yes, he's making a return. That's good, but of course they make it the same day as All Access. So it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as an announcement. Oh yeah, now we got Adam Cole coming back. No, if Adam Cole wasn't there, the ratings would be going downhill next week.
And he's an analytics guy, and he did the most dumbest move. To be honest with you. Maybe they gave him. Maybe the network said, we're going to give you the spot. Go for it. We need some filler, and we need something that's not going to do anything any good anyways. And we already got you there, so you're going to pay for most of the production anyway. Why not? When is that debuting again?
I don't remember.
All right.
Sometime in March.
Okay. That's why I wanted to get March. I wanted you to tell me the more in March.
Yes,
that was the answer to the question. Okay. In about another week, we have something called, in one of the most biggest sporting events in collegiate sports, March Madness. And TBS Turner has all the different channels where they're going to throw you basketball from everywhere. CBS, TNT, True TV. My point is there's going to be a lot of basketball games. And they're going to all eyeballs at the games. And you're going to bring this show, this 1 hour show about backstage total divas, but with the male of AEW wrestlers on the same channel where there's basketball, when there's gambling involved as well. You think people your wrestling fans or sports fans are going to stop and watch a show about not wrestling, no events, about talking crap behind the scenes, where you could watch Gonzaga take on North Carolina State, whatever. I'm just throwing that out there. Basketball game where you could bet and make some money. You're gonna go watch this show about that's gonna be tempted, recorded about some backstage footage. Good luck. You should have done it. You should have done it in the month of February, in the month of January, where there weren't crap going on, and there was no football, there was nothing going on, and you would have captivated an audience, and you would have got some numbers there. But you're going to do it now when there's a March Madness. Where's the intelligence on that? That was a stupid move. To be honest with you, that was a dumb move. There's a time and place. You know what? Be honest with you, I like the concept. There is a time and place for a little backstage peek behind the curtains with that All Access, but not in the month of March. Not in the month of March, Jay.
No, Tony Khan is trying his hardest to compete with any company or anything that he can. He wants to be like, okay, we beat March Madness. Yes, that's another one up for us. He's just trying to compete with other companies and other shows to try to ran them off the television and go to another day. I don't get what he's trying to do. He's just constantly doing the same thing over and over again.
He wants to be liked by everyone. You're not going to be liked by everyone. You're gonna have the one thing that's made the AEW strong in the beginning. They were different. They were called the alternative. They were different. They were alternative. They were different from the World Wrestling Entertainment. They were different. Now you're copycatting, you're copying and pasting what WCW did, trying to copy WWE, and it didn't work. What I see here is WCW all over again. It's like I'm seeing WCW. I said it from the very beginning with the first from Double or Nothing when Cody broke the throne, and that first show. I told my son, this is WCW copy and paste. They got mad at me, and now 3 years later of their existence, going to 4, I'm not far fetched from my comment from day one. This is WCW copy and paste, and they're going down that drain. They're going down that rabbit hole. And good luck. We doing it because we're covering. We watch it, but I'm not a fan of it. I watch it because there's some good, because of the performers, but I am not a fan of him and the way he books and the way the way he constructs his everything. He's just not pleasing. But we do have a promo with the American Dragon come out, cutting a promo, getting the crowd invested in Phoenix. Out come the world champion MJF. MJF getting personal, talking to the camera, talking to his kids. I know he says, "Don't go there. I'm going to kick the crap out of you in your head." And of course, these two guys go to blow. They go at it. In one spot there, I was looking around to see if I saw any rumors or any dirt sheets because there looked like a part there where Brian at the end when he came with that running elbow outside in the apron, he looked like he really hit MJF in the head. I'm like, ooh, did MJF get concussed? Because there was he looked out of it. Maybe Brian did, because MJF could get under the skin. You heard him say it. I lost the one woman that I got down on a knee to make the longest. He says like she couldn't stand me. The only thing I have is the gold. I know people are criticizing the MJF promo when he says, only thing keeping me from taking a whole bottle of pills and ending it is this title. I know, you shouldn't make light of suicide, especially in the world of wrestling, where we lost a lot of great performers taking too much painkillers and not waking up. And of course, it wasn't a good. It was off-putting, that kind of comment with the promos there. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one from MJF. Yeah. I like MJF, but you gotta cross the line just a little bit there, Jay.
I like MJF as a heel. I like him as a wrestler. It's just sometimes he goes too far to where the point where I was like, do I really even want to be a fan of MJF anymore? Do I really still want to follow him in his path of success? And that kind of crossed the line a little too much with that, because I know a lot of wrestlers who have passed from that exact outcome, and hearing MJF say it kind of gives me like a vibe like maybe I want his title reign to end at Revolution, and I want Bryan Danielson to become world champion now. At that point, I don't want to wait another another year for his contract to come up to then drop the title and then come back 3 months later. So I don't know. At that point, I just crossed the line.
Bryan Danielson has now hold that AEW title. He's supposedly regarded as one of the best wrestlers in that company or around the world. And if you have never put on a strap, your elusive world title strap on Danielson, what does that say? Is he really the best? And you never put a strap on him. So wouldn't surprise me. Also, the numbers are down ever since he became champion. The numbers in Dynamite has gone down. It's not kept 1 million, and of course you don't have Punk. They say, "Oh, because Punk is not there." But everybody wanted MJF. Everybody was chanting when he was away. Where's MJF? Where's MJF? We gave you MJF as champion. You guys didn't support it. You guys didn't back him up. The numbers went down. Could I see a con man get panicked? Because he's another one. You say anything, if 4 or 5 people say anything negative, he's gonna try to please them and make them happy, and he'll, even if he has to sabotage a whole card, because he want to make those 5 folks happy, depending on which 5 folks is, if they're loud enough, their noise, he's gonna make sure that they don't scream. It's like the parent that hears the baby screaming, he wants to put a pacifier immediately in their mouths to quiet, and that's Tony Khan when it comes to his booking and listening to the fans. And if you listen to the fans, you end up sitting with the fans. Sometimes you got to make the hard choices that it might not be popular, but you have to continue to do it in order to tell a story to get to a finish line. And I don't think Khan does that well. And do I could see where MJF might lose that title? And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me one bit. I wouldn't be surprised, because of that comment. And you know what? Executives say, you know what? You put this champ, you forfeit this guy. He came on national TV when we were there in person, and he cursed the living daylights. He called you an F and Mark. He was, his profanity is overboard. He's a loose cannon with the microphone. You don't script his promos. You let him talk off cuffs. And you haven't have a TV deal with the Warner executives, and he's not drawing us any money. There is no extra eyeballs. Maybe we should get a wholesome Daniel Bryanson and let's see if the numbers go up and so forth. I think that might persuade where MJF might drop. They might make him lose that title, and that's going to push him. Now, let me ask you this: if he does, and I've said it before, and I'm thinking of it, I thought, oh, he's gonna 2024. He's gonna be Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble immediately. Right now, not because of this promo, but ever since he's got the world title run, I'm more like 45. He's not. He's going to the WWE, and 55 he stays in AEW. I think he's going to sign, or he has signed a contract. I don't think he's leaving AEW because he's got free range to do what the hell he wants, speak the way he wants, or I don't know. I don't see him in WWE.
Yeah, I can see where you're going, and I can see where people are saying. I'm in between. I don't know where he's going to go. Honest to God, MJF makes it believe that he's gonna go to WWE, and then there's that point where it's like, do you really see MJF the way he is now be in WWE in a storyline? Let's just say, I know this, like, a lot of people bring this up, against The Miz. Let's say MJF against The Miz. Do you really see MJF dropping F-bombs and any other curse word they want on PG-13 television?
No, he's not. No.
So he's just saying that to get heat,
right?
To start drama, to start something online against WWE again, because WWE, I mean AEW likes to name drop WWE a lot, likes to always comment on WWE, but when we do it, all the fans are like, "Whoa, that's too far!" Like, come on.
They were bothered with Michael Cole, and he never mentioned AEW. He just said, unbiased journalism. Like, oh, let's go take a shot at Cody Khan. No, he didn't say AEW like the way they state. It is what it is. It's just the tribalism that's in there in wrestling. That's all it is there. With them, we've seen them backstage. That 60-man Iron Man match. 60-minute, Iron Man match. I'm not really looking forward to it. I wish they would
go 2 a.m. end clock.
Just get ready. Make sure if you see it, if you watch it at home, it'll be good because you get to go to the bathroom and do all the things. But if you're watching it in the movie theaters, have extra money for that popcorn and
energy drinks.
My goodness, it's gonna be a long time. Having a Revolution tag team battle, another gimmick that I'm like, okay. It's like a sigh of relief. I'm like, what the hell we're doing here with this? First of all, you got 20 wrestlers all at once in the ring. The worst thing, the camera. First of all, instead of worrying about signing every swinging dick that comes out of the WWE that gets released, you go sign some real good cameraman. Go sign some good TV directors, because that was the most dumbest display of record. It's like me and you, and we decided to get a few people from NXT with the cameras, and let's go record Dynamite, because it was terrible, clunky. You couldn't see crap with wrestlers in certain spots. You have Dan Houser outside doing his stupidity with the cursing. It was so clunky, and it only got better when they finally eliminated. They were down to the last 4. It got exciting. You saw some spots there with Sanjam Singh, carrying, and it's like, again, why in the world is fucking Jarrett? I had to say the word. I'm sorry for cursing, guys. I'm sorry for cursing. I try never to curse. It's not my. I don't like to curse, but why is he still? Didn't he go there to help the live eventing and getting the chrome? And why is he featuring himself week after week as a performer when there's so much that roster's so bloated with young talent, and meanwhile he's going over and winning this? Why, Jay? Why?
I don't know at this point. At this point, it's just like it makes it seem like they signed him as wrestler more than backstage. Yes. That if oh my god, if he wins those titles at Revolution, oh, AEW is gonna have some heat with me.
Listen, I think this is the reason why he was let go or fired, whatever, from the WWE. I believe he was there for that, and then when he tried to weasel his way as a performer, and I think Triple H said no, and I think that led to a rip. He wanted to be part of wrestling. We saw that when he did that Ric Flair. He was part of the WWE when did that Ric Flair last match. He was in the ring, and I think he went back with that idea that he wanted to wrestle, in WWE, be part of programs. And Triple H said, "Hell no, we got too many talent, young guys. We need you for this." And it led to their rip, because after that, that's when he got let go by the WWE. I think that's what it was. He wanted to get there, become a wrestler again, and I want to do a little bit of both.
So why didn't he not sign to AEW as a wrestler instead of backstage act? It doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't. No. And this is what gets aggravating, because now you're taking away TV time. I know I've said this before when we reviewed AEW before and Jeff Jarrett was on the card. You're taking away TV time from the young stars that you've signed from WWE and other companies, and you're putting Jeff Jarrett on national television and putting him over the young talent to then go to a pay-per-view to then possibly win the title, win the tag titles, to then do what? What is he going to do after then?
I don't know. And then you know what, Jay? I can see a scenario where Jarrett walks away with those tag titles.
If he walks away with those tag titles over the Acclaimed, the Guns, and whoever wins that casino match, tag team match next week, there's going to be some problems. And
now they're just. Let me ask you this: the Casino Tag match. Are we having the same tag team again in the Casino match? The same ones that were eliminated?
I'm guessing.
Are we getting a new group?
Put the Blackpool Combat Club in there.
Butcher and the Blade again.
What could happen is they could put the Blackpool Combat Club in the casino and make them win. Then at Revolution, it makes it more even exciting.
Personally, I want to see the two JSA members, the Chomper
or Top Flight. Flight might. Yeah. They're good.
They're good. They're getting good. They're a good tag team. But again, this is why we're like, what the hell they're going on? What they're doing here with that? It's just, And then of course you get to the main event. We already talked about Tony Khan's, lame announcement, and we get to the main event: Jon Moxley versus Evil Uno. Now, this is not worthy for main event, dude. Evil Uno. Come on, dude. This is like, are you serious? I said, are you serious?
That's why I said earlier, random matches. And that's why I kind of coughed and said Evil Uno.
Before we we left a promo, another one that we forgot. We have Jungle Boy come out. It was Christian Cage come out to Tony Schiavone to have an interview. Jungle Boy comes out like a bat out of hell. He starts beating up on Christian Cage. Christian Cage gets beat up. Jungle Boy gets some chairs. We're about to do a concerto on him. He hesitates just a little bit. Christian, like the total heel he is, hits him in the nads, and then he beats the crap out of him. And of course, all Elite Wrestling should be all menstrual cycling wrestling, because there's always blood. So now he's bleeding, Jungle Boy, and that's that. Did he really go over? What the hell there? That's why I think the stipulation match between is a grudge match. Either they're going to put in a cage, or they're going to last man, loser leaves. I just, the AEW's not big enough for both of us type of deal. That's why I said keep an eye on that when I teased about the Raw, as he might be a partner for Edge at WrestleMania, Christian, if depending on his contract up, because I don't think he signed a long-term contract with AEW, and it's been over a year and a half that he's been there. So it'll be interesting to see how long he's going to be there personally, but we'll see on that. Then we get to the Evil Uno and Jon Moxley. Now everything was going well. Then all of a sudden, Moxley decides he has to cut Evil Uno. Now, Evil Uno was squirting blood out of his head, he tried to rip this mask off. Again, wrestlers, I know, please respect the mask. Unless, why do you have to try to rip the wrestler's mask out? Respect it. I get it, but no, he wants to rip his mask, and he's doing every time he did the headlock, you saw the blood squirting out of Evil Uno's forehead. And then, of course, Moxley wins, but it gets clunky at the end again. You get now the Dark Order comes out, Blackpool Combat Club. Here comes the Hangman Page, where they change his music again. By the way, terrible his introduction. This introduction again, another one like Ilya Dragunov. This one sucked too from Page. Remember, Evil Uno told Page not to come out. He wanted to fight him one-on-one until it got clunky. Page, and then you get Page come out with the barbed wire, and of course, it cannot be an AEW match Wednesday night without Moxley bleeding. Like a young girl gets a period, Jon Moxley has to bleed too. It's like, Jesus Christ, I'm tired of Moxley with his blood. Seriously,
I'm tired of these dumb matches and the blood repeatedly. Listen, I know
make it special when you bleed.
Yeah.
But make it special when you bleed. Make it special.
Yes. Don't do it every week. Do it once in a while. Do it at pay-per-views. Do it like in stipulation matches. Don't do it on a random match. A random one-on-one match. There's nothing going on. There's no, it's not a hardcore match, or it's not a street fight, or no DQ match. It's a normal, regular match. Why does Moxley always have to bleed? He didn't bleed in WWE.
No.
He didn't do this weekly. So what's the problem?
And he was the lunatic fringe.
Exactly. It was crazy. So why is he bleeding now?
Mankind didn't have to bleed every freaking Monday Night Raw. Terry Funk didn't have to bleed. They bled, but not every week. There's a time and place for this. When especially in these mats, in these wrestling arenas, these wrestling locations, there's a thing called MRSA, tuberculosis, all those things. When you have an open wound on your forehead, you're asking for something that you're looking for free. You don't need to bleed in every freaking match. We understand you're a hardcore. You want to be Mr. Hardcore, Mr. Tough. You don't need that. You don't need every time. That's why the Sandman got stale. Sandman before, if you watch ECW, Sandman before he got in the ring, he would bleed because he takes the can of beers and crush it across his forehead and he starts bleeding. It's like, okay, now what? Sandman, that's why he's one-dimensional. He didn't make it anywhere outside of ECW and the indies because he was one-dimensional. That was his specialty. Now Moxley's getting to that. Moxley's getting that scenario and he's a good wrestler, but I want to associate him I'm associating him as a woman's menstrual cycle. That's the human menstrual cycle, Jon Moxley. And it's like, enough. I'm personally over Moxley. Go take your 6-week vacation that you were going to do and go, repackage, get away, out of sight, out of mind. When you come back, it feels special. Then you could bleed again.
Then you could bleed again, yeah. Just honestly, take the 6 weeks vacation. Come back, brand new Moxley, brand new everything, repackaged. I like the Wild Things, the theme song. Change the theme song. Make it more of your own theme song. Don't take another theme, another song, and make it your own. Have your own theme song. Create one like you did in WWE with his theme song. Make it something new. Do something else. Come back repackaged. Don't bleed as much when you come back. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want more blood every single week.
No, you could do it, but pick your moments, special moments. What it would have been special. If you wouldn't bleed every week, when you have that grudge match with Hangman Page, in Revolution. Then you want to make it a blood fest. That makes nice. But now he bleeds again. He's bleeding again in Revolution. It's not going to be special no more because you went to that well too many times. You went to that trick many times, and that's like, no, dude, you're too much already. That's too much. You already went to that. Enough already. No, I had enough already. Nope. And that's the problem when it comes to that. And after a while, especially the way the crowd is, the way that the Twitter, the wrestling Twitter is so critical. I'm surprised they're starting to already get the backlash on him bleeding a lot. If it's us, imagine what they're saying about that with him. But my God, you didn't make it feel special. And another one that didn't feel special to me was the promo with Warlord and Samoa Joe. They're gonna wrestle again, another repeat match. I understand Warlord dropped the titles because he was injured due to an injury, and that's why Samoa Joe ended up with both Ring of Honor TV as well as the AEW TV title, or TNT title, whatever you want to call it. It's really a TV title. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see Sloppy Joe and Warlord. I don't want to see it either. Another repeat match. Okay, now Warlord wins again, and it Warlord, the heat, the pop and the overness that Warlord had went out the window. They booked him. They totally put him in the freezer, and he's ice cold. It's like when you take a meal in the microwave, you microwave it. You think it's hot. It looks like it's hot, but when you put your fork in it, it's still cold in the center of the food, and that's where Warlord is. They're trying to microwave him, and it's not working.
You have somebody like Powerhouse Hobbs in that triple threat.
Yeah. Did you freeze? I think Jay froze. That's the power of the Powerhouse Hop. As Jay gets his technical difficulties in order. I see what he says. You got Powerhouse Hop in that triple threat. Go ahead, Jay. You froze one moment.
Sorry. Yeah, no, my internet keeps cutting out every couple seconds.
Yeah, it's the stream. But we're wrapping up anyway in a moment anyway.
I don't know what's going on. It says strong connection. Okay, I guess it's back now. Like I was trying to say before, the internet kept cutting off. You have that triple threat. You have Joe go over, drop the titles back to Darby. Darby drops the titles back to Joe. And now you're getting Joe versus Warlord, and then he's going to drop the titles to Warlord again. The heck? What's going on with this TNT title? Give somebody new a chance.
It's the flip-flopping of the owner. It's wherever city he's at, wherever's hot, let's go with that. I've said it and I said it 1,000 times, and I'm going to keep saying it. He used the fact that they were in the Pacific West Coast to give Darby Allin on that title run because that's his home, and he wants the fans to go out, and he wants to.
Alrighty, I don't know what happened. I think his internet just cut out, if I'm not mistaken. Let me text him real quick. But like he was saying, new people. You need new people, man. This crap it's just it. It needs to be over. I don't know what's going on, but we kind of did miss a couple things, guys. For Raw, I know we missed the Cody Rhodes promo. And we kind of missed the Becky Lynch thing. But we'll get to it when he comes back. If he comes back. I don't got a stop button. I think his internet has cut out, if I'm mistaken. But I'll try and carry things going. Let me try to pull up some notes and try and keep things going. Let's go to okay, so keep talking. I will definitely keep talking. Let me just pull up this week's results for Dynamite. All right. So, like we were saying before, the TNT title it's getting out of hand. It's coming to a point where it's repetitive. It's a repetitive championship. It's over and over again. We have Joe, Darby, Joe, Warlord. Before that, we had Warlord. It's just repetitive. Give somebody new a chance. Like, I would love to see Powerhouse Hobbs as champion. We could give it to maybe somebody else who has never been TNT champion before. That needs a championship or is deserving of a championship. It could. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I don't know what they're doing with the TNT title. I have no clue. I don't know. It's the same thing with the TBS title with the Jade Cargill. It's just I don't know what they're doing. She's not flip-flopping the title at least, but it's just what are they doing with her too? So it's like I don't know what's going on with the TNT title. I don't know. It's just rough. It's rough.
I hear you. I've got little technical difficulties. I don't know. It's always with whenever the StreamYard goes a certain amount of times it does this.
I thought it was my connection. I was like,
no, it's the StreamYard blues. I've had this done whenever I do the Yankees. Whenever I've done the Yankees watch along, it does that. It's the streaming platform. I always thought it was my internet connection or too many browsers open, but it's the StreamYard. I've been there, done that. So with that said, let's call it a night because we're having issues with the connections, and it's always been a good show. We reviewing all these 3 different programs. Out of the 3 wrestling programs that we reviewed, which one the show was the most that really you enjoyed so far? I know we still got SmackDown coming tomorrow. Impact Wrestling is currently. Well, I usually watch that on a delay anyway and record it. Who did you like so far? The first 3 shows here for the first 3 days of the week.
Raw.
Okay.
I enjoyed Raw more.
I agree because Raw had that backlash or the outcome from the Elimination Chamber. I really enjoyed it. Let me ask you this. I heard from others. What was your thoughts on the crowd from Ottawa? Did you think they were dead?
No. I bet it's the security. Again, it always has to be security. They're not dead.
No, it's security, and it's the WWE security that don't allow them to go and get excited. They tell them to sit down. They tell them to go down. And also, I know they say, oh, when Sami Zayn came out, you notice they didn't stay on their feet. They sat because the service security, you're not seeing that the service security guys telling them to sit. They're waving. They do that in NXT. They tell us to sit. They don't let us stay up or stay on our feet for too long. They want us down, sitting because they're doing a TV show. And that's the only thing that hurts. To me, I think it hurts the product where you don't see that in AEW because they don't tell them to sit. They might have a little order from here and there, but that's why the 2 shows look way different. I think the WWE security does not allow us, the fans, there to really enjoy the experience on their feet. They want everything in order. They don't want everybody up on their feet with chaos or possibly, getting ruckus. They want everybody in control in their seats, sitting down, controlled, where they can keep an eye on sitting because if everyone's standing up and can see when wrestlers or someone might do a move, jump over the barricade and probably hurt a performer. So that's what they're trying to prevent. And I think that's why they make everyone sit or emphasize everyone to sit down so the security can have an overlook like a sheep herder looking over the sheeps. And I think that's why they do there. But all in all, Jay, this was a good one. Wrestling, like I said, even though it seemed like we were critical with All Elite Wrestling, but it was still entertaining because it's forcing WWE to keep their storylines better, aggressive, and you have a chance here for WWE to try to knock out an All Elite Wrestling by continuing good storyline, and now it's up to All Elite to step up their game, not just with the wrestlers. You sign all the wrestlers, you got a bloated roster. Now, can you do enough creativity to make it work? So we shall see there in upcoming weeks. SmackDown tomorrow night, that's going to be good. And from me to you, if we tell you our motto here in the Heel of the Ring, if you ain't down with us, we got 2 words for you, Jay.
Just subscribe.
Peace.
Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and
My
gentlemen,
thoughts
just in
get
case
so
you
bad,
live
I'm
under
like,
a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at the
don't know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over like,
star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you was just a fuck up real bad.
Be the villain! And I have no problem at all, because I couldn't care less. If you like me or not, I'm here for success. And there's no one more successful than Grayson Waller.